Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 275. Welcome,
Ooh.
welcome. Danfinity, welcome to the show.
Hi.
How you
Thanks
doing?
for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks, but overall pretty good.
Yeah,
How
and
about
there's
you guys?
hardly anything to talk about this week, right?
No,
Dustin?
not at all.
Just
No,
barely anything. Watts,
How's the
Mylan?
weather?
Yes. Weather.
Yeah.
I do get excited. I don't know if it's my age, but I do get excited about the weather. You know, checking
Mhm.
the weather and you're like, oh, it's going to be a bit nippy tonight.
What type of weather specifically? Oh yeah, like a little cold wet. Like, do you get excited about precipitation? Being like,
I get excited
rain's
about it
coming.
being cold.
Yeah.
I think it makes me feel cozy. Like it's going to be real cold. I'm like,
yeah.
ooh,
Yeah, it's
whip out
understandable.
the fire.
Yeah.
Cocoa.
Cold here in California is like 60 degrees. It's like, dang, it's getting cold out. My God.
I think my dad's favorite thing about going camping is just checking the weather forecast. Just constantly working out. Oh, it's gonna be cold, lads. Make sure you rug up. Then we go on Tuesday. We've got. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
You got to
It's
get your long
exciting.
johns, man.
Exactly.
Fair.
Very
Yeah.
important for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, congratulations on the community focus also for Bungie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, the past couple of weeks have been like just insane.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you. It's very nice.
Yeah. Congrats,
I'm
man.
glad to be here. Yeah,
Super cool.
it's
Yeah, if
Oh.
you guys haven't checked it out, head to bungie.net and check out Dan's community focus
Yep.
because they do a little interview. They get into how you get started and you get to
Mhm.
know people really well. So
Yeah.
it's a good read.
Yeah, it was one of those things. This is another one of those things. Like DCP and the community focus were two things that when you guys started up, I was like, I want to be there one day. And like the community focus thing, when I first started streaming, I was like, that's insane. Like that would be super nice to be a part of. And now I get to be a part of both within like a couple weeks span. And that's
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
I'm here for it. Thank you.
We're
thanks
honored.
for
We're
joining
honored,
us.
man. Yeah.
We're almost kind of like long lost cousins in a
Mhm.
way
Yes.
because
Mhm.
Dan, you were involved with Planet Destiny.
Yeah. Yeah. I came up on the crew, not after you guys, but the crew after them. Like I think TBL's been a part of it forever. I think
TBL's OG. Yep.
Yeah, he's the parent of the group. And then like everybody else just kind of filters in and does their shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's a really fun show to be a part of. I get to produce a lot of it, which is super nice. Something that I hadn't done previous to joining back in 2018, but learned a lot.
Cool.
And especially like not only about the game but about production and how to I'm constantly fidgeting with things in production, and that is a problem for a lot of different reasons, but so it goes.
I don't think I've ever stopped fidgeting with stuff. I'm constantly
No.
thinking about like, oh, how could I improve this recording concept? Oh, and get this better resolution. Yeah.
If I get this sound, then my stream will be complete. Then it never is.
Yeah,
Never
in
is.
terms of music production and studios, it's endless, man. Like so many people. Oh, that preamp, this preamp, that compressor, that equalizer. Oh, this synth. Oh, how about that guitar, that pedal? It's endless. But it's fun though,
man.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
money sink. And
Oh, yeah.
I never want to get rid of anything, but it's great.
Big time money sink. As soon as you discover cinema cameras, you're like, well, you're broke from here on out.
I can't go down that road, Tufty. Jenny will leave me. I'll be destitute.
This lens
Just for the
costs how
cinema
much?
I'll just have a cinema camera on the side of the road. Just be like, guys, I'm live. Doing what? I don't know. Change. And then
Vlogging on a cinema camera.
yeah, exactly.
How's the podcast been going on PD?
So we actually took a long hiatus. We did
Mhm.
episode 300 back in November,
Okay.
and with the intent to come back a little bit before Witch Queen. So we're still like hammering out details of like what to do with that.
Sure.
After I think the plan now is to go bi-monthly. So like do twice a month rather than like every week.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, the other stuff like Marvel topics that I do is dependent on if Marvel puts out anything new. and,
That's a Marvel Comics focused podcast,
it's
right? Or Marvel
yeah,
Universe.
it's more about the cinematic universe. I do
Okay.
it with D Flawless, and it's really fun. The last episode that we did was after we saw Spider-Man, and we're both gushing over it like just wholeheartedly.
Nice.
And then Beardo, I've just started picking that one back up again, and that's really about whatever. It can have guests, it cannot have guests. It's a whole thing.
Nice. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Do mustaches count as beards or not?
You know what? I've stood by this for a long time in my Twitch channel, and it is not about the beard that's on your face, but it's a bit about the beard that's on your heart. And if you have a beard on your heart, you should see a doctor immediately.
Yeah.
Because that is a
soul
medical
beard.
condition. Yes. I cannot help you with that. Somebody else will have to.
Popped open the chest and found some fur in there. Oh boy. Something going on.
Mylan, you got rid of your beard membership. You're now
Yeah,
part of the
you're
revoked.
mustache gang.
Yeah. I think it's coming back, honestly.
Yeah.
Your beard?
Like, yeah.
You
No,
don't
not
wanna-
the
you
beard,
don't
the
want to be
mustache.
like Podrick.
No, I
wanna
think,
go-
I
you
think
wanna go
Mo's,
potty?
Mo's coming back in fashion. You just wait.
Bringing back the stash,
Just
huh?
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, bring back the stash.
For most of my dad's adult life, or for the longest time that I've known my dad, he's had a really big, thick mustache. It wasn't until a few years ago that he got rid of it, and so it's interesting knowing my dad with like what Mylan looks like right now for most of my life, and then no stash. You know.
I've watched quite a few videos of children reacting to their parent, their
Yeah.
dad, getting their beard or mustache shaved, and they are all terrified.
Yeah.
There was one that was really cute, though. She was like, it's lovely. He looks great. And she's like 5. It's very cute. Very cute.
That's great.
I remember my dad shaving off his beard because he had a big beard, and I just remember
Mhm.
hearing his voice, but just like, like not matching.
That was baby Mylan.
Yes.
Strange emotions. Papa, what did you do?
My
Oh,
dad for a
man.
long time had a mustache that was a little bit wider than John Waters,
Mm.
and it's a sight to behold. It's not a look that I would do, like
The
not yet.
walrus.
Maybe I'm not prepared for it yet,
Yeah.
but look, getting there.
Nice. That's great, man. Before we dig into all the stuff
Yeah.
that's going on, Dan,
Yes.
can you enlighten our viewers as to what your Twitch stream is like for people?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I keep stepping on you. My name's Danfinity. I do PvE things within the Destiny community. Normally do 3 streams a week. Tuesday is Reset Boys, where I hang out with my friends Mod Sherpa and Bibletron. On Thursdays we do Raid Roulette. So we put up a wheel, spin it, and whatever lands on, we go for with and help a couple people just to
Nice.
get loot. And then on Sundays is all day PvE helps, with the mornings being more like 3-man activities and the evenings being more raids, mostly community voted raids. So try to be very community focused, some like charity driven. My community, through anytime you watch ads on my channel, all that money goes to Second Helpings, which is a food rescue charity based out of my hometown of Indianapolis.
Cool.
And my community in the last year raised over 5K for them. So it's a very giving, very caring
Awesome.
community, and one that I'm very proud to be a part of. If not,
Yeah, that's
like,
awesome.
Absolutely,
Get the head
man.
up.
That's great.
yeah. So I get to go to the graduation, where the money goes to sponsor a culinary training course for people who are unemployed or underemployed, and they do 12 of those a year. We raised enough to sponsor one, and then Bank of America doubled that basically through something that they had with Second Helpings. And so I get to go to the graduation for one of those classes, and I get to stream that to the Discord. So
Cool.
That's really
That's
cool, man.
super cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah,
Congrats
that's
on that.
amazing.
Very cool.
it was fun. It was fun. They didn't know who I was. I did the stream, And then the next day they got all the money through Tiltify, which is like they just got it through different PayPal donations. And they go, "This is great, but who are you? What is this?" and it just opened up more communication with them. So next year this year we're going to be working with them more closely to hopefully double that even further.
Excellent, man.
Cool.
Really cool.
Amazing.
Yeah. Question on raids. So if you were doing a raid roulette type of thing, what's your least fit? What raid pops up that makes you go, "Oh, gotta do this one"?
It used to be Garden,
Mm.
but since we've started using the no build strat on the final boss, easy peasy, dunzo.
The no build strat is easy.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah, it's
Oh,
great.
no.
You just plant a well
Wow.
down, fly with it.
I've been
Have fun.
championing this idea
Mylan
from
likes
day
building.
one.
I've heard. Right, Mylan? You like building?
Oh,
Violet?
look, I'm just thinking, I haven't done Garden of Salvation. I was like, building. What's he talking about? What's the building part?
Back
Yeah,
when we were doing Garden, so many
Yeah.
people were like, "God, Tefty, come on, you got to build. What are you doing? Like, why are you just like ignoring it?" I'm like, dude, he's going to take away the platform anyways. Why build it? Build it so he
Yeah.
can take it away?
Fair. When we were doing it, it was still a new raid, and not building was a lot more dangerous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Now
when
you can
Witch
just be
Queen
like,
comes
I'm gonna
out-
just tank it.
I
Which
still
Queen
think it
comes
was
out,
easier
is it
back
gonna be
then.
Like, your roulette wheels is going to be like Witch Queen. Oh, look at that Witch Queen again.
Yeah, rigging the wheel.
no build strat, no build strat. Even in Witch Queen.
Oh, we don't have warlocks. That's also a problem. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were
Yeah.
like 5 hunters and a warlock.
So
But, I still felt like I wasn't having a problem staying alive though. Just jumping around.
yeah, you can. There's several places you can stand that the boss will focus you and try to annihilate you on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think my main question here, I may have posed a question to you guys.
All right. Yep.
So you guys are going into the day one raid as an all warlock crew. How prepared are you for that?
All warlocks.
We won't be.
You won't be?
No.
I am.
Nah,
I'm
Tefty's a
taking-
warlock main
The,
now.
the
so-
stipulation ends for Watts when Witch Queen happens.
Okay.
But I've been put on
you
the
can
racks.
say it, Tefty. You've already
I've been
come
like
out.
Warlocks,
I've been
you can
tortured
say it.
and whipped
You
and
can say.
I've been like locked away in the warlock room until I became one. And now I walked out and I was like, my sins were purified and I'm now like part of the church, of warlock pissery. So here I am, a warlock main.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole bargain to be a
make me
warlock
cry.
was pre me joining too. So I've got no contractual elements
Okay.
to be
Yeah.
to
All
be
right.
a warlock. But I'm gonna play Titan, which I've never done before on a day one. So there you go.
Nice.
I've done that for a year, and I gotta tell you, slamming your face in this stuff is real fun. You
Mm.
just
Yep.
aim. Sometimes you don't even hit the mark. I find a lot of the time I end up going off like a rocket. Don't even hit the target.
It's always fun. I
So
do miss
fun.
that about Titans. I
Yeah.
miss the mobility of that specifically, being able to shoulder
Mhm.
charge around like that. That was always nice.
Yeah. With the missile, with the code of the missile, I regret that they limited the height that you can get on things.
Right.
Sometimes I'll see that and I go, I can go to there. I can go and do that. I will go and do that. And then it just fizzles out way too early.
Mhm.
Code of the Missile should be like Mario when you have the cape, like Super Mario or whatever, and you can like you dip down and you can fly back up a little bit. Dip down, you fly back up.
Oh man. Well, we should definitely get into some stuff
Well.
because this episode could balloon into the biggest one ever if we don't
could
start
be.
cracking into some of these things. So, shall we start with the acquisition first?
Yeah, let's start
Yeah, go
in
on.
way of news that came out.
Yeah.
So Sony acquired Bungie for almost $4 billion.
Damn. 4
And,
bills?
Yeah, that's
they
a
were
lot
very.
of money.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
money. They were. You know what I really loved is that right away, Bungie and Sony were very transparent with what this means for players, Bungie going forward, Bungie employees. Like I've seen all over Twitter that like there's been multiple meetings at Bungie to like answer everyone's questions so everyone knows what's going on. So right away we had a Q&A come out with Joe Blackburn was in there. So I forgot who else was doing the Q&A article. And then there was another big article as well. And it was very clear of like all the questions you'd normally ask, right? With Sony or Microsoft acquiring something as exclusivity. What's up with that? And they were very clear. They want Destiny to be on more platforms, if anything, not less. And also then there was another question of new Bungie IPs. What's going to be going on with them? And they're like, not exclusive. No, they're going to be on all the platforms. So it's, and then even more news came out of Sony wants to create 10 live service games by 2026.
10.
Oh,
And then
I
you're
didn't
like,
see that.
this is making sense.
In 4 years. 10
Yes.
of those. Like,
yes.
Insane.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I saw the number like 3.6 billion, I was like, okay, this is not about Destiny. This is
No.
and you know, we might see some like secondhand benefits to Destiny the game, but there's got to be more value in Bungie's ability to build a live service and potentially Destiny expanding to other multimedia, which they sort of hinted at.
Right.
Yeah, so as this news keeps coming out, so initially when I heard that Bungie is remaining essentially independent. Of course, they are a part of the Sony Entertainment, but they are self-publishing. They have full creative control. Like they are still remaining essentially what they're doing now. I was like, I wonder where the deal comes in for Sony, and I was like, well, it makes sense if they want to create more live service games because we've had so many studios try and make live service games,
Yeah.
and it does not go well. So if Sony
That's
is wanting
true.
to get into that, then Bungie are the people that you want. And then today we found out that I forgot the amount. Was it 1.6 billion?
1.2 out of the
1.2 billion.
3.6. Yeah.
Yeah, so 1.2 billion out of the 3.6 is going towards Bungie employee retention.
Wow.
Yup.
So they did not, of course, like if you get a big chunk of change and you're a developer, you might go, peace, I'm moving to Florida and I'm gonna go take a nap. Right. But they're like, no, we want Bungie. We don't care. Like we're not getting Bungie to get Bungie's IPs. We want the talent at Bungie, or the people that make Bungie who they are, to help us in our endeavors. So it's been really cool how transparent everything has been. And then today we found out that someone from Riot who worked on animated shorts has been hired by Bungie to be a part of the expanded Destiny universe in TV and movies. So it's been very cool.
Yeah, that alone is wild to think that like it's beginning to look like a reality now that we've speculated about. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Netflix thing of Destiny experiences and all that? And like, be like, yeah, man, it'd be a cool universe for them to do that. And then, you know, never think it would actually happen. And this time, looks like they're very serious about it. About making turning the IP into that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. This must be the lore historian job, maybe. That they advertised a while ago.
Yeah.
It's very much
that.
It feels very much like a I scratch your back, you scratch mine scenario. Just throughout and mutually respectful, which is real weird. My only concern is like we have Microsoft picking up like Activision, Blizzard, and just consolidation across the board in the industry. And this, I mean, I'm no huge fan of corporations. So like I want to see as many like independent studios as are feasible, but where do you guys see this going down the road? Like how many studios of the size of Bungie are left still on the table?
Right. Well, that.
Well, I think like I would sort of concern about the same thing at first, but Sony, you know, even though technically it's, you know, Sony owns it now, Sony does have a pretty good track record for game studios like Naughty Dog and Insomniac and, you know, all those games that, you know, God of War and
And they all
Ghost of
share
Tsushima,
tech
like
between each other as well. Like that, I mean, that's kind of the
yeah,
point, right? Of acquiring a bunch of
Mhm.
studios is that all the studios help each other with all the tech that they have.
Hmm.
And Sony is definitely very collaborative with their different
yeah,
studios.
yeah. So I don't know the impact of having these monopolies, I guess, with a lot of different game studios sitting under one sort of corporate banner.
Yeah.
But I do think Sony has pretty good track record for letting their game developers do the right thing and make good games. So that's encouraging.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All things considered on that, for sure. They like game studios making good content, which makes them look good. The Sony Entertainment. Yeah, it makes me concerned though, for sure. Corporate conglomeratization and like, I get that they're trying to make us feel safe and like not
Mhm.
scared and don't worry, little fauna, you're gonna be okay. Like we just got bought by a huge company, but it's still us. You know, it's like, yeah, it's still them, obviously. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like they are technically owned by Sony at this point, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like they
They are,
spent,
but they retain all of their independent rights because they're still an independent. What's the word? Independent
Contractor?
subsidiary.
a subsidiary.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that is once again fluffy words to make us feel comfortable
But it's
with the
part of the
fact that's happening.
contract. We've
They-
heard from both Sony and Bungie that part of the contract is that they are retaining their creative freedom. It's that Sony gets like first kind of like if for example, if Bungie wanted to make a TV series, right?
Mhm.
Sony gets first dibs at who creates that. So Sony can be like, "Well, we want our Sony studios to
Oh,
create it."
okay.
But Bungie still has the final word on it.
See,
First
they
right of
have the
refusal.
they have the final word until Sony ultimately says we own you, and that's not what we want to do. And I'm not
That's
saying
all
that's going to
part of the
happen,
contract.
but they own the company. You know what I mean? Like this is what I'm saying from a consumer point of view, like not a legalese, like a lawyer
Mhm.
point of view or something like that. I'm saying it from a customer. I see it, and I think, okay, well, Sony owns them now, and that's great that they're saying that this is where the vision is going, and like, you know, I should believe that, and for the most part I do, but I feel like Sony has in the past not exactly been consumer oriented with the
Mhm.
way they've handled, like, look at the crossplay stuff. The reason why there's been a bunch of crossplay problems has been because of Sony, right?
Yeah.
Like they had to jump through a bunch of hoops because of Sony saying, well, we can't have this and that, and you know, Fortnite was a big issue because of Sony.
Wasn't there a bit of a fee that was attached to getting Sony on board with crossplay? Because like I want to say that like 2K refused to do crossplay for Borderlands 3
Mm-hmm.
with PlayStation because there was a fee attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So like it feels like there's spider in out there.
Yeah.
Just like, all right,
I think
I'll take everything you got.
Yeah.
everyone feels like, I think everyone probably shares the same feeling. Like in the back of our minds, we know that whatever the legal aspects are, it's like you boil it down to Sony owns Bungie, and everyone's just, you know, fingers crossed that what they've said is, you know, going to be true, and they're going to retain all those creative
Yeah,
rights, and they're going
exactly.
to make decisions as independently as possible and still provide, you know, great entertainment in all these different forms. And it's probably just, we have to wait and see. Personally, I don't think we're going to see a huge difference in Destiny the game at
Mhm.
all, or for at least
Yeah.
2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's going to be like more raids, more dungeons, or any of that. I think this is all going to be about the additional IPs that are created and the technology that Bungie has and experience Bungie has in creating a live service.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the injection in cash into Bungie, clearly that's going to benefit Destiny.
Oh, a
And-
lot of security though. Like a lot of like, as
True.
a content creator, it's like,
Yeah.
cool. Like I feel
Yeah.
as long as, you know, there's nothing, they don't
Big
like
bucks.
shut
Well, I
down the
think-
studio, which that wouldn't.
I
but,
think
you know.
security
Yeah.
for Bungie as well, having that much of an
Yes.
investment there, and like
Yeah.
them being able to do what they're doing great with Destiny and all that, and like, yeah, they've said everything to make us feel like we shouldn't question that, and I totally get that. But like playing the devil's advocate and also looking at it like it's still a corporation and Sony's still a giant corporation and they've done things in the past that are definitely not consumer friendly. So like, I think it's within my right to say, you know, well, contracts
If
can
they
be
break
broken.
the contract, Bungie gets their independence back.
Yeah.
So good luck, Sony.
They've done such a good job of navigating the waters of video games, like just being bought and sold and bought and sold.
They have,
or
yeah.
getting out of contracts.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that like that does give me some ease with it, like seeing specifically in the post Destiny 2 Our Shared Vision, specifically from Joe Blackburn and Justin Truman. I feel like their track record, and like I put trust in those names just because their track record with Destiny in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say that like these are a 3-point shared vision with their name emblazoned across the top, I don't see a reason not to trust that.
Sure.
It's this is the thing. It's one of those. So with the Microsoft Activision thing, there was a lot of dancing around questions,
Mhm.
whereas there were very specific questions asked of Bungie, and they were just like, "No, this is what it is."
Yeah.
Mhm.
They've been super transparent, and Sony's also been super transparent of what they want from Bungie and what value they see in Bungie. So really, it's been one of the few situations where there's been not a lot of guessing to do because there's articles from Sony and from Bungie all over the place, and it's made it really easy to know what's happening, which normally isn't the case. And honestly, it's kind of a groundbreaking contract that they have because they've been able to maintain so much of their independence,
Mm-hmm.
which normally doesn't happen.
Well, I guess that's what's confusing about it, because if someone dumps nearly $4 billion on a company and yet they don't own it, but yet they do, but yet they don't, but yet they do.
And Bungie will still be publishing independently. They're not going to be
Yeah.
published by Sony.
So, yeah.
I think one of the things is that with the workers' retention or the employee retention, I can't remember where I was reading it about it, but what the game industry looks like at the moment, especially around like culture and crunch and all the things that happened at Activision Blizzard, it's sort of like you got to think about in the future how difficult it is to have those senior people that have been in the industry and know what's happening and can produce a live service game. And so I think some of the value is as well.
Mhm.
And obviously Sony think that too, because that's where
Yeah.
that money,
Yeah.
they're putting 1.2 billion to make sure they've retained developers.
Yeah, I would actually say the most comforting thing out of all the news was that Sony cares about retaining the people that make Bungie. Like they don't want to lose the
They want the
Bungie
talent.
sauce. But yeah, because they need that talent to create whatever games they're wanting to get into. So that was like the most comforting thing. It's like, oh, so this is making
mean,
it super clear that they just
10
want
live service
talent.
games?
10 live
Like,
service.
10?
10 in 4 years from now. God damn.
They're going to have to clone Bungie at this point.
Can one of them be Ghost of Tsushima's multiplayer that they constantly update PlayStation?
That'd be nice. I'd be
I
up for
would
that.
like that. It's very good.
Yeah. How about a Crash Bandicoot MMO? Oh, wait.
Oh my God.
Activision.
Everybody's just tiny little
No.
everybody's just tiny little bandicoots rolling around.
Yeah, but Microsoft owns it now.
Yeah, that's
Rip.
sad.
Sparrow
Well-
Racing is returning as Crash Bandicoot Racing.
What do you think about the idea of them making a Game Pass service and like, you know, Destiny being on that?
Yeah, see, this is the thing, right? This is where that's kind of a more interesting conversation of it's not like Destiny will only be on PlayStation,
Mhm.
but it might be on PlayStation Game Pass and not on Xbox Game Pass.
Mhm.
So then maybe that makes people want to sign up for their version of Game Pass.
Well, I find
I
it
would
really
love one.
fascinating how the timeline lined up to where they left Game Pass in December, and then a month
Yeah.
later, 2
Yeah.
months later, suddenly they're being bought by Sony. So it's like, oh, interesting.
Well, there was a tweet from Christopher Dring on the 31st. He posted two posts. The motivation behind Sony's acquisition of Bungie is to help boost their own abilities to make live service multi-platform games. We've already discussed that. But the deal was in the works for the past 5 to 6 months.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's not a reaction to Take-Two, Zynga, or Microsoft Activision deals. So this
Yeah.
was in the works long before.
Totally, yeah. And these companies would never suddenly like make a snap judgment and
No.
drop $4 billion. Be like, what'd you do?
And again,
$4 billion.
6 months does feel pretty quick for 3.6 billion though as well.
Yeah, I get. Well,
I don't know. Imagine doing that. Imagine
I
doing
wouldn't.
that deal.
I mean,
I
it's
wouldn't
definitely in
do
the
that.
realm of business. And acquisitions are happening all the time. Companies
yeah.
buying and selling assets, but it's definitely fascinating what's been going on. And yeah, it's a
is,
fair
yeah.
question also to say, where does all this conglomeration end? What does independent studios look like truly after a bunch of massively wealthy corporations have gobbled up all this stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and especially if Bungie does do what they're saying and they maintain the feeling of an independent under the
Mhm.
umbrella of Sony, well then it's like they've got all the security of being under that umbrella, but the freedom to make good games.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, and I hope it really is exactly
Yeah,
like that.
it's a little bit too good to be true. So
That's
we'll see.
honestly what it sounds like. It sounds like too good to be true to be like Sony's just like, yeah, here's all this money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember what I watched, but it would have been like a Game Awards or something like that, and hearing directors talk about like how Sony supports their games, it's
Mhm.
it's reassuring.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it definitely is, yeah.
I'm super excited for the possibility of TV shows and movies, like filling in the gaps of game lore that you're playing with movies and TV shows would be super cool.
That would be amazing. Oh my
Like,
god.
here's
The Lord
Sabathoon's
channel, come
origin
to
story.
Papa. This
Does
episode 1 of Destiny Animation Explained, baby.
Free content
Sony
for all the lore channels.
does Sony have a streaming service right now for TV and video?
They have Funimation and Crunchyroll. They own both of them.
Okay. Got
They
it.
own some streaming services.
maybe,
And some anime studios.
yeah. Maybe they're also looking at that and seeing everything that's happening with Paramount Plus and HBO Max and all that, and thinking in terms of those lines with entertainment as well, right?
I'm just waiting for a soundtrack from Destiny the game to be used in an animation or whatever they make, and then everyone receive DMCA strikes.
Oh, you're right. That's true.
Oh,
Yeah,
like,
man.
please, I've used to be a warlock for 7 years. Please, it is on every single video. Do not use that soundtrack,
Yeah.
Sony, please.
I would even love like kind of short animation stories,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
what the guy who recently started a Bungie used to do at Riot, where it's like just telling short little stories of different things in the Destiny universe. That would be super cool. I would just love more. There's so much story in Destiny that can't fit in the games. I would just love more of that wherever it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. High
Anthology series like Hidden River Ninja in chat says that would be awesome.
Be cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see whatever comes out of that. That'd be amazing. Anything else to talk about with this acquisition?
I think that's about it. Just I hope everyone at Bungie gets big bucks, big money.
Yeah, I hope
And,
so. Right. And they've said, they've publicly stated, both sides, that it's business as usual. Nothing exclusive is happening.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah, I
Destiny
think
2.
Sony's maybe started to realize after putting God of War and Horizon on PC that
Yeah.
you don't get more money by having exclusive. And they even said, I forgot who it was from Sony, but they said that they hate that as they release a Sony exclusive game, there's a hard cap on the amount of copies it can sell.
Yep.
And they don't like that. So yeah. And they also said that they're hoping that Bungie could help them bring more Sony games to other platforms. So
Yeah, hasn't it been stated that God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn were really great PC launches for them? Like very strong sales numbers. So I think they've definitely awakened to the potential of putting those awesome titles onto PC, whether it's like a year later or something like that. Because it's just another market. And like, why not? Like, if you're going to invest all that money into building an amazing title, like, why not sell it on different platforms?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it just means more content for us and maybe some real good live service games coming out in the future.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully,
It
so.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Knack
How much
3,
time
the
do you have,
MMO?
though? Knack 3, the MMO.
Knack 3 online. The Knack universe.
There was a game that Sony put out on PS3. I want to say it was called Mod Nation Racers, or it wasn't really an MMO, but you could build tracks and race everybody online. It was really fun. Maybe Bungie makes that next.
Yeah, Sparrow Racing, but micro machines. Right?
Yeah.
All right, what's next on the list?
Oh, what was next? Was the trailer next?
There's a new trailer, right?
Probably the
Trailer was
the
before
trailer.
TWAB. Yeah. There was a trailer.
Weapons trailer.
Yeah. What was in the trailer?
There was worms.
Yeah.
Worm launcher. Hive worm launcher.
How do you feel
worm
about
launcher?
chucking worms?
Love it.
Yeah.
Very excited.
What if you want to
Yeah, I
make the
mean-
worm a pet?
Get rid of the light by shooting worms back at
You go pick them back
you're
up
right, you're
after
right.
they've murdered somebody.
Just seems like a spiteful move.
Yeah.
It's like, these guys just got the light, and here you are, just like, back to your old ways. Go back.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
true.
kind of insulting, huh? To shoot the hive with their worms. That is pretty rude.
Yeah, it's I see.
You've
Fetus
been
Eaters
locked
in
into a
chat.
bargain with this parasite for millennia. Have it back! Please, no.
Does this mean?
They're also the glaives.
oh yeah.
Class specific. Class specific
Yeah.
exotic glaives.
Yeah.
Titan
That's
ones with
wild.
little mini
Class-specific
bubbles.
coming back.
Was it the hunter arc they showed with the lightning across the ground?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was the warlock creating arc buddies, right? Is that correct?
Warlock be
Maybe.
healing, right? It was like a healing kind of.
Yeah, healing
Nice.
glaive.
Hmm.
You know what I think of when I see the glaives? What's
Pretty cool.
is it? Stargate? What's that little that staff they had that shot lightning? Whatever.
Oh
Shot
my
what?
God.
Yeah.
That
Do you know
just
what I mean?
unlocked a memory for me.
Yes.
Shit.
I can't remember what it's called.
I haven't thought of
Yeah.
Stargate in years,
Stargate.
dude.
Ew, it looks real, mate. It's gonna be so cool.
It looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. That weapon just looks so versatile and like you can take it into whatever and
Mhm.
use it. So, and I just love that we're getting class specific stuff as well because I know that people are like, oh well, I want to heal on a hunter, but I love them delving more into class specific stuff and really fulfilling those fantasies and fleshing them
Same.
out. I love it.
Yeah, agreed.
There was a Game Informer article that talked a tiny bit about the glaives too, and just talking about like the different combinations you can do, like combo between melee and range. So it's going to be interesting. We'll probably see, like you see with swords sometimes, you know, you get the light, heavy, like different like combinations you can do with them. You might see something similar with the glaive, how you can combo them together.
Yeah, it's exciting, especially with the info that was in TWAB, which obviously we'll get to. Makes me very excited for all this stuff.
Oh, Witch Queen just seems like it's gonna be like a real massive expansion, not just in terms of content, but in terms of like the foundation of
Mhm.
how you
Yeah.
play Destiny.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, very exciting.
excited.
There was some exotic armor in there too, but I'm pretty sure I just didn't have enough room in my head all this week, so I've just pushed some information out.
Same. The trailer
Wow.
information has been pushed out by the TWAB. I read the TWAB and trailer info was immediately gone.
Yeah.
There was a Titan helmet. I can't remember. It thought it
Yeah.
looked cool. I can't remember what it did. What it
Wasn't
did.
it a hive head that had like flames firing off the side of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miles like, eh.
I can
Yeah.
tell you anything right now and you'd believe it. It had
Yeah.
there was a unicorn horn, and out of the side was like poison gas. And you just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's not useful.
Oh, I mean, we got to talk about weapon crafting anyway because that was in the trailer too. So that's completely
In the
fine.
TWAB.
Oh,
Yeah.
we saw the light machine gun shooting rockets.
That's true.
Yeah. Tef,
Yeah.
do you not see this? This light machine gun.
I'm
shooting
pretty sure I
rockets.
was like, what? What's
It's
happening?
right. Like normally, I've gone through trailers and I'm looking at everything, but this trailer, for some reason, I was just watching it like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can't wait to play this video
Worms.
game. Sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the Titan can put up a ice barricade.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
exotics. Yeah. So big barricades on either side, a small one in the middle. So probably going to be some nice stasis builds with do more damage or receive less damage, stuff like that. Next to stasis crystals.
Mm-hmm.
There looks like some questionable things that might destroy PvP with the
Oh,
was
the
enhanced tracking. Who had enhanced
the
tracking?
Warlock exotic. Yeah, Cal
Uh.
said that gives you an extra freeze grenade. So you can like the cold snap stuff, so you can just cold snap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fun times.
Hunters might have probably the worst one unless they do some funky stuff with increases damage of reflected projectiles with Middle Tree Arc Strider.
Awesome.
So
That could be
the
fun.
It's
Super
yeah, but
already
it
fun.
depends. It depends on how much damage it does.
Yeah.
1 billion, probably. Hopefully.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, is everyone soloing raid bosses now with reflect damage?
Yeah,
Like, if
everyone
it-
just gets 6 people in the raid, and everyone's
Yeah.
just spinning their sticks to kill the boss. That
Yeah.
sounds great.
If it's that
Maybe
kind of
make it
fun,
there's
then
a way.
Make it so.
Yeah, like if it was also, you can also reflect an ally's damage, so you could like make like a ogre beam, and I reflect it to Watts. Watts reflects to Tefty, and Tefty like Kamehameha, it's like the
Wow.
boss back with it. Yes, I'm in.
If
That would
it's
be
like
cool.
that, man, that would be a dream come true. I'd love
Well, I
that.
don't think it's gonna be like that, but I don't know.
No.
Captain America.
All I want is for a hive acolyte to blade barrage me, and I reflect it back at him.
Yeah.
That's
that
what
I
sounds
want. Get ran,
awesome. Yeah.
Actually, that's true. Or a Nova Bomb or something. Hive Nova
Yeah,
Bomb.
they
Yeah.
super us, assholes. So just
Mhm.
reflect it back.
Yes.
Yeah. After all these
okay,
years, they're
okay.
getting revenge on us for supering them.
And you reckon this? Oh, and we saw the SMG.
Yes.
Like the Stringer.
Yes. Looks very
That's
cool.
swarming projectiles that trigger a toxic burst.
What's that mean? What's the law on it?
Yeah.
What's the lore of that?
They got gas.
I don't know. Their projectiles look cool. Some people sort of calling it like SMG's Thorn, I guess.
Into
I
it.
wonder.
Yeah.
You might want to go back to Warlock. What's with the what's the gloves that spread?
Necrotic grips or whatever.
Necrotic grips. I'll be too busy reflecting your necrotic ass back at you, man.
No, you won't. You do it for 2 seconds, realize your super runs out, and it's absolute trash.
They buffed it. It lasts longer now.
I am skeptical. Anything else?
You know.
You guys like no more room in your brain. It was mainly the glaives. The glaives gonna be cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really cool. And
I always have a tough time with trailers when it comes to this stuff because I want to dissect stuff, but I don't because
Yeah, same.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to preserve the newness of going in fresh as much as
Yeah.
possible while having the dichotomy of also being on a podcast talking about the game and all the specific bits of news
Yeah.
that come out.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
So you're
tough.
telling me you don't go frame by frame. is what you're telling me.
Exactly. I
Yeah,
used to.
that's why I used to as well, but now I kind of
Mhm.
watch it and just experience the
Yeah.
hype of it
Yeah.
as it's
Mhm.
playing. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that was super
I
cool.
agree.
That's super cool.
Mhm.
And I don't try not to hold on to the information anymore because I want to be
Yeah.
excited when I see stuff.
You have plenty of time. Plenty of
Yeah.
time after it releases.
Mhm.
That's definitely why I forget things because I just like, you know what, I want to be excited and just
Yeah, it's not because my brain sucks.
take money out number. Whoa, a hive worm launcher on release.
I mean, that definitely
Can't
stood
believe
out.
I've done this.
Is that a heavy weapon? The worm launcher?
I would assume so.
It looks like a heavy grenade
So-
launcher, right?
Each purple brick has worms in it when you equip that weapon? They're expired bricks?
I'm assuming you're just going to get heavy ammo from killing hive with worms and just pick them up, block
Yeah.
That
them
would be
in.
rad.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a perk like that.
Jam it.
Wait, that's a good question. I wonder what element it's going to be.
Ooh.
Wormy.
Yeah.
Wormy?
What elements work? It's
Toxic?
got to be void. Right?
Decomposing. Yeah,
Because
probably
initially
would
when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's like with a horde, you know. And then I was like, but now that you say that it obviously looks like a heavy weapon, it's like, oh well, you know, because with a horde has an effect that doesn't.
Right.
There's no element, you know. It's just like
Mhm.
taken
Yeah.
AoE. But yeah, considering it's a heavy.
Sorry, external memory in chat just said worms are not babies, they're old dudes. Slanging your senior citizens at your fresh Hive Gardens.
AARP worms.
So obviously they're not doing the poison subclass, the poison element yet, but
they've said it's not happening.
Yeah.
But it feels like they're
The worm
leaning
one-
towards maybe.
well, maybe it was like the worm had the poison element, and then they were like, we're not doing that element yet. Let's just switch to void,
Maybe.
and then maybe in the future they patch it to poison.
I keep thinking, like, imagine PvP and just seeing a volley of worms flying at you.
Yes.
Dream
That's
come
the
true, Mylan.
PvP I want to play, to be honest.
Dream come
And then
true.
reflecting it back.
And then this is worms flying everywhere.
That's silly.
I just picture like a reverse face hugger.
Oh man, yeah.
It just digs into the hive. Oh man.
Or it could be. What if it was just the face hugger in general?
Oh, I
Attaches
mean
to
that
the
would be
face.
wonderful.
What if direct hits had like it attaches
Your
and does
Screen
damage?
goes gooey.
Wow.
Yeah.
You become a
Goo.
You become a
Vessel.
goo.
become a vessel for a xenomorph. Suddenly you're an alien now. Different game.
Atrax? Atrax much?
Should we do TWAB now? Was that what was next?
There was a Game Informer article that came out.
Give me the law.
Give me the date. I think the Game Informer article came out before the TWAB because it was a couple days ago. So yeah. I've just got a couple notes here from it, but I guess we can find the link for you if you want to read it. One of the interesting things, they said that Savathun's Throne World is an old hive realm that is being remade and blessed by the light that Savathun has stolen. Interesting tidbit of information, because I actually made a lore video on the Throne Worlds and was like, I wonder if Savathun's going to lose her Throne World with the worm gods, right? Once she loses her worm, she might lose the Throne World. And this sort of confirms that the Throne World we go into is probably going to be relatively recent. It's probably going to be a creation after she gets the light. So this is like an area she's created, which makes sense because that's all the theme that they keep talking about. She sort of made this area in blessed by the light sort of deal, and in her image of what the hive should be, which is why she lives in this like white castle sort of deal. So that is cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
This is cool, which you may have not heard. The legendary campaign also features a new approach to fireteam size, adapting content and enemies depending on number of guardians in your playgroup.
Ooh, see, this is really interesting because when I heard about the Legend difficulty story mode, I was like, well, got to get a fire team so we can get through it and, get it done. But hearing this makes me really feel good that Bungie expects solo players to be able to do the Legend difficulty if it's scaling, which is awesome.
Maybe it's a sign that they're really embracing more solo endgame content in general and understanding that they need things like that to be able to adjust. Like imagine in future Nightfalls, they were able to adjust for solo, duo, and trio content. Wouldn't that be awesome?
So soloing the GM is like a more reasonable thing for more players to do than like this incredibly difficult.
Or maybe more, it's like expected from Bungie as opposed to looked at as like, damn, you did that?
Yeah.
Wow, how many tries?
And it also feels like a much more curated experience, right? Like
curated,
they know what an encounter should feel like, and they know how tough it should be for the best sort of playable experience, which is cool because that just I just keep getting flashbacks to like Halo, like this is how it's meant to be experienced sort of deal.
Yeah. I'll reiterate again, ever since basically playing a lot more solo and not streaming as much, like Destiny is lacking a lot of solo endgame content. Like it is definitely a fire team, get your friends together who are hardcore about the game type of endgame grind. And it really could benefit from some solid solo endgame content.
Yeah, and just like going through the campaigns in general, I do prefer to do it solo because I want to experience the new areas and new stuff in my own time.
Yep.
So hearing this was really comforting to me because I want to do the campaign solo, and
Yeah.
it seems like you will be able to solo it. Of course, it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be a walk in the park, but yeah, it's very comforting.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll give you another couple sentences from the article. There's even a new six-person match-made activity called Wellspring that plays out in the Throne World, built to convey the fantasy of storming this seemingly insurmountable castle.
Mm.
Castle sieges.
I like
Cool.
that.
Another
Destiny
interesting
tower
thing.
defense?
Yeah.
It's a tower. It becomes a mobile game.
Set up your wand launcher.
Another interesting thing, they talked about the Hive, the Lucent Brood, the Hive enemies, and how they have powered up moths that infuse them with light. And the quote from the article says, you might find an acolyte who is charged with light. And when you defeat the acolyte, the moth comes flying out and seeks to infuse its power into another, or comes after you to detonate.
Cool.
Light moths.
What's the law on that, Island?
What's the law on that? Light
Lore
moths.
giving moths.
Light giving moths.
Light giving moths. Moth bombs. Mothballs.
Lore moths.
That feels like the modifiers from Borderlands
Yeah.
3 a lot. Like when you'd kill something during like the Halloween event, like a skull would come out and chase you down.
Yeah.
Or things of that nature.
Yep.
I'm glad that they're embracing mechanics like that.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
Because they're a lot more fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other things are sort of covered in the TWAB today. They talked about the weapon crafting a little bit. They talked a little bit about glaives and how you can combo stuff together. Like aggressive jabs can be strung together with multiple button presses to produce a fluid combo and that kind of thing. But the main takeaways are those bits I mentioned. So
Mm-hmm.
there
Very
you
cool.
go. That's a Game Inform article.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
Very exciting.
Is it time?
Oh, well, I think it may be
Now's the
time
A meaty
for the
twab.
juicy juice.
Juicy juice. It's gonna move you.
The chonky boy.
So the first part is about the Sony acquisition, which we don't need to talk about. But
Right.
there was also a little bit of cool information in that more than 1 million players have pre-ordered
Yeah.
Witch Queen.
Big numbers right there.
It's on track to be the most pre-ordered expansion in Destiny 2 history.
Awesome.
And this is, a lot like I haven't pre-ordered Witch Queen yet, Like there's a lot of people who wait until, the night
Yeah.
before, a week before
Yeah.
to
Yep.
pre-order it, or not even pre-order it, just buy it when it comes out.
I feel like the
I mean, I
anniversary
go for the
pack,
same thing. Like, have I bought it? Have I not bought it? How do I check I've
Yeah.
already bought it?
for sure. I feel like the anniversary pack pushed me to pre-order it sooner because I wanted the
Yeah.
stuff in the anniversary pack.
Part of
And I was
that,
like,
yep.
well, I'm gonna buy this
Oh, yeah,
anyways.
true. Maybe I do have it.
Yeah, we're like, actually, maybe I do
Like,
have it. Never
oh.
mind.
Just double check real quick.
Whoopsies. Maybe I do have it.
I pre-ordered on PS5 and Xbox.
Yep.
So the big thing
Yes.
that they go into right away is the Enclave,
Mm-hmm.
which is our weapon crafting. So they say that you early on in the Witch Queen campaign, you'll be given an introductory quest that runs you through the ins and outs of crafting. In the first and second missions of the Witch Queen, which is free to all players, Guardians will uncover the Deep Sight ability and be introduced to the Enclave. So this is where you'll begin to shape your first glaive, a brand new weapon archetype being introduced in the Witch Queen. All of the necessary materials will be provided for your first crafted weapon, but you'll also be given a short tutorial on how to find those materials for future crafting, which, thank God, Destiny needs some tutorials to teach people what the hell is going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really do. So
Yep.
thank God. So there's going to be a subset of weapons and archetypes available right from the beginning to craft, and then they're going to keep adding more in the future. And then when I read this, I was like, well, that's really good, because I was thinking maybe is this just a thing for Witch Queen? Like, is it only staying for a year? You never know.
Mhm.
But this is like they're sticking with this for a long time. This is like a heavy investment, complicated system that
Yeah.
they've created.
Yeah. I mean, getting more into reading what they're doing, it really feels
Yeah.
like an evolution of the weapon system.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
It feels like what people wanted with Curse of Osiris.
Yes.
Yeah, this is what people were expecting with Curse
Yeah.
of Osiris.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in order to shape your future tools of destruction, first you're going to have to get a pattern. So pattern is the very first requirement. Some you will acquire through quest completions, others can be earned by completing gameplay objectives. Once you've earned your desired pattern, it can be crafted at any time with the required materials. And then you have to like mix it all together. So you're essentially going out into the world and finding blueprints of weapons, which I love. Don't know why my brain
Same.
loves that, but my brain does. Like you see a blueprint drop, it's like, oh, what is this? Oh, it's the
It's
one I wanted.
it's like the Monster Hunter loop that happens.
It
of
is,
thinking
yeah.
you're getting that one piece to get your collection further to do this. It's exciting seeing the stuff like that.
It's super exciting. I love that.
And so the
Mhm.
pattern is a specific gun by the looks of it on here, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it
Yeah,
says like
so you'll
come
get
to
a-
pass. So this is the come to pass pattern.
Yeah.
Which makes come to pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
The auto rifle.
Exactly.
Right.
And you'll get more through the campaigns, and then they'll be adding more as
Mhm.
the year
Oh,
progresses.
It's honestly like the random roll collection system, but just a way of grinding to like get it almost. You know,
Yeah.
it's sort of like it's basically being able to print whatever random roll you get, but in a roundabout way,
Yeah.
Well,
which is I'm completely fine with. It's good. It's great.
like ever since D1, I've always wanted elements of the fact of having to put something into a weapon to make it
Mhm.
your weapon. Like that,
Yes.
even though the end result is the same of it just dropping versus putting in the XP and the time to unlock all the perks, there was still this like, this is my weapon that I put time
Exactly.
into type of aspect. And it's an emotional thing. And this adds
Mhm.
that emotional element back to crafting your
Mhm.
weapon.
Yeah, I like to be invested in the things that I'm
Yes.
using. I really
Mhm.
do.
Mhm.
And this is that.
How
Yeah,
much?
I think. Go on.
Go ahead.
Just say, I think for me, it's also going to help me acknowledge which perks I like more because
Mhm.
I'm going to be more invested in it rather than just
Yeah.
like watching a video and asking what's the best role or what's the best
Yeah.
thing, but actually like experimenting with what I like to play with my builds
Mhm.
rather than just going for, well, eventually we're going to get to the meta. And everyone's like, craft this weapon right now.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
But
But,
see, you've got a good point though, because like the good thing is, which is further down in the TWAB, is that you can reshape the weapon. So you
Yes.
can like try perks out and then go, well, that wasn't really for me. I'll try this other
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm excited about too.
Yeah.
Yep.
How much of this is a workaround for the vault system?
Yeah.
I think it's gonna
Especially-
be huge.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah. Because they've said in the past we can choose between like more vault space or more like stuff. And so like
Yeah.
this definitely feels like, okay, you're able to recraft it as much, you can refocus it as much as you want, just make it yours, but you don't have to put it in the vault. It's fine.
Mhm.
You don't need like 18 copies of this.
stuff. Well, you don't have to
Yeah.
save things like thinking there's going to be a patch note that's like, now Wellspring gives you super back with 1 kill. You're like, oh god, I don't have any Wellspring because I've deleted more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I currently have like 20
Wellspring back on there.
glaciocasms in my vault because like I
Yep.
need to go
Yeah.
through all the minutia of the different roles to see if something might have something in the future for me to want to hold on to. And like, it's a vicious cycle. Keeps me at 500 out of 500 all the time.
Yeah. The
This will
worst
help a lot.
case
Yeah.
is you only have to have 2 of the same weapon. And that's one for PvP and one for PvE. If you don't want to have to
Yeah.
recraft them every time.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So-
really cool.
Continuing.
Yeah.
After reaching the Enclave and crafting your first glaive, randomly rolled weapons throughout the game have a chance to drop with a new ability, Deep Sight Resonance. This will be used as you begin to target specific traits to craft. As an example, if you find a Deep Sight Resonance legendary auto rifle with the Rampage perk, you can complete an objective and extract the essence of the perk to then craft a weapon with Rampage or another perk that increases damage. So they in the pictures here, they show various different weapons that have like a red outline that
Mhm.
shows that they
Yeah.
have deep sight resonance, and then this one on the Forensic Nightmare SMG, which is an amazing name, by the way.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Love that. And it says activity completions and usage of the weapon will progress the deep sight resonance objective. So you get one of these, you're like, oh, it's got Rampage in the example they used. Then you want to use that SMG that has Rampage on it to then be able to extract the perk and put it in your crafted weapon.
Now, they didn't mention what happens to the weapon after extracting. I'm assuming nothing, because I feel like they would have said that the weapon becomes useless or something, or loses the perk if that was the case.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. Like,
Yeah.
can you extract it multiple times? Like, once you extract it, does it just reset your progression, and then you can wait? Why would you? You probably
I feel
you
like
wouldn't
it
need
would
to
only be
extract it multiple
once,
times, would you?
right?
Yeah, you would only do it once.
Once,
Well, okay.
once makes.
That's
Well,
the other
yeah.
question. Like, is it a charge, a one-time charge of rampage that you have that you then can go and
Oh,
use
yeah,
in
that's
one
right.
weapon?
Yeah, exactly.
Or is
yeah.
it just an unlocked? You have rampage now officially unlocked for all of your crafting. Like, for me personally, I hope that it's you get one charge. It's because this is the answer to why would you get all this loot and then just delete it immediately, right?
Right.
Like now,
It
if you get
deepens
some,
loop.
yeah, it deepens
It
loop.
does.
You see a machine gun or a submachine gun drop that you just don't care about, but you see the deep sight resonance is interesting and you want that. So you're like, I guess I'm using this in some gambit matches until you can extract it.
My guess would be so because these weapons do just have like normal perks on them as well. They just have like kind of a mod slot that is the deep sight resonance. My guess is that that just kind of goes away, and then you're left with a weapon that's just not a deep sight resonance weapon.
Yeah,
Would be my
that would make
guess.
sense. I
I
went.
might be wrong.
The objective also says activity completions and using the weapon. So
Yeah.
I'm imagining that. I'm hoping actually that the most efficient way is not to be in the throwaway and just play the game.
Yeah.
And do activities or
Yeah.
activity completions.
Yeah, I think it's at least it sounds like it would be better if you're like doing strikes to get it done or gambit to get it done or whatever.
Yeah, maybe not Gambit, but yeah.
How dare you? You
Hard agree.
That's it. 24-hour gambit stream for your penance.
You must pay for your sins, Mylan. That's it. We're getting together this Friday. You know what we're doing? We're not doing GMs. We're
Gambeteers,
doing
Guardian. Equip,
Please, no.
equip your linear fusion rifles. I'll bring the well. Yeah, I hope it's not a one and done, but it kind of seems like it might be one and done.
It does seem to
Yeah,
say
I
like
don't
you
know.
unlock.
Yeah, what was the wording?
Hold
they
on. It
used?
says extract the essence of the perk to then craft a weapon with rampage.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah. So you extract the essence and then.
It's like materia. You just slot it in.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a material, so it's not going to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that it is like you want to keep looking for guns with like the rampage resonance thing, right? I hope that it is that instead of just I collect all these perks and now I have them forever and now I'm done and I don't need
imagine
these
it will be
weapons
that
anymore.
because then it encourages you to still go for random rolls because you need to find the roll with the perk you want
True.
to then add on to whatever gun you're crafting.
Because then otherwise it just it becomes like a crafting game instead of a loot like RNG drop kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like getting things to drop and then having a reason to work with them, to do something else with them in the future. Like I like that aspect of it, as opposed to suddenly I've unlocked all of them. Now all the legendaries that drop are useless to me out in the wild.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, that's my opinion. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that'll be like, no,
I want to have
don't-
it forever.
Yeah, I don't want extra tedious work to do. Thank you very much. I'm gonna jump into the Crucible and that's it.
But see, this is I
I
guess
got a
it's
job,
the
I
Monster
got a wife, I
Hunter
got
brain.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's the Monster Hunter brain, right? Of just like that's why the game resonates with me so much because it's like I go out and collect things to create my armor
Yeah,
and my weapons.
You get your parts from the thing you collect.
Yeah,
Then
you
go
want-
into like something else you craft.
You want the imaginary economy to be interfacing with.
Yeah.
When like Glimmer, I hardly ever think about Glimmer because like you don't really deal with Glimmer that much aside from it just
Right.
being the value that costs to insert or upgrade something. You don't feel like you can work with a Glimmer. And like if you could extract things from lots of weapons, then like that would be the economy that you're working with, the virtual economy in there to make you feel like you're participating in it. But yeah.
How intensive on the inventory screen is it going to be, though? If you have like 4 or 5 different economies all going on in the inventory.
Yeah. Destiny has historically struggled with that.
Well, at least the deep sight resonance won't be something
Yeah.
that goes in your inventory because it will be a weapon that you hold on to for a bit, and then once you're done with it, you
True, yeah.
extract it and throw it away.
hmm
Probably.
Yeah.
So it almost reminds you a little bit like Outriders, where you would dismantle a weapon, you'd get its perk from the weapon you just dismantled.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you could literally slot it into another weapon, but you
Yep.
could also modify that weapon again if you weren't happy with the combination or something.
hmm Yep.
Yeah. So they go on to say that like current weapons, not every pattern will be compatible with every trait, but you have a
Yeah.
good list of traits to mix and match as you customize a given weapon to your desired specifications. It doesn't stop there though. Through the Enclave, you'll also be able to kick things up a notch and enhance your traits to strengthen their flavor. So now we're talking about leveling your weapon and enhancing the traits that you've put on it.
Yes.
So once you've,
and yes.
I know, right? I know. I got excited reading
Me
this.
too. I was like, it's happening. Oh my God. The number of times we talked about this on the podcast is finally
Seriously.
happening.
I know. We've talked about it all the time. So once a weapon is crafted, Guardians may begin to increase its level by using it in activities and by defeating enemies. This is where the bulk of your crafting playtime will be. The more you use your weapon, the faster you'll unlock its full potential. Enhanced stats
Emotional
and
value.
traits. Emotional value. Enhanced stats and traits can be unlocked when reaching higher levels, granting slight bonuses to your weapon's capabilities. Our goal through this system is to give players a reason to invest in their weapons far beyond what masterworking could offer in the past. Each weapon can now act as a long-tail pursuit as you look to make your freshly crafted weapon the best it can be. So the image that they have here is they're looking at the Come to Pass auto rifle again, and they're hovering over a high impact frame, which requires level 7 of the weapon, and it's got handling on it, 10 handling.
Yeah.
That's the image that they're showing. Unfortunately, we can't see the other images.
It is 40,000 glimmer.
It is 40,000 glimmer.
So speaking
Finally,
of that
something
glimmer
to spend
cost.
glimmer on.
Yeah.
Gonna need a glimmer farm.
So I'm
gonna-
assuming that they're all high impact frames there, but with different intrinsic perks. Like one will be handling, one will be range, one will be
I
like
think
high
so.
impact range, high impact handling, high impact something else.
Yeah, it looks like you could pick one of them, right?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if
because
it-
the perks in the bottom, so it'll be impact, range,
Yep.
stability, handling, reload speed, right?
I don't know if it like
Mhm.
locks it to that or if you can mix and match as it levels up, but those are all good questions. Also, resonant alloy. Like that's an interesting little commodity right there. Like maybe the perks unlock, but you always get resonant alloy, so it is interesting to go and still use all those weapons because you want to get more resonant alloy to do more upgrades potentially. That might be their answer to that stuff of why you'd continue to use more weapons that drop afterwards. But yeah, this is awesome. Like
Yes.
leveling up my weapon? Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, so
I-
basically your weapon starts off like pretty stock standard, and you got to use it to unlock. Not only unlock. So here you unlock like high impact frame, but I'm assuming you also not need to like unlock the ability to put on a rampage perk, but you also need to get a rampage perk from another weapon, right?
Possibly. For sure you need to unlock it. Don't know if you actually need to go get the perk then. Not
Well,
entirely sure.
just before, you know, the what's it called? The
Is that what they said?
the deep side resonance. You know, you have to find one with rampage on it, and then use that gun, and then extract rampage
Right.
from it,
Yeah.
which you can put into another gun.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. You use the weapon, which like levels it up, so you have more slots or whatever to put into it, and then you got to go find your perks on other guns, use them, extract the essence from them, and put them into.
Well, oh no. Okay. So the ones that drop out in the wild, those are the ones that contain the deep sight resonance.
Yes.
So those drops, some random ass weapon drops from playing Gambit because you love Gambit. Admit it, right?
You do. Yep.
Playing Gambit,
Everyone
you
does.
get a deep sight resonant hand cannon thing. Then you go do the activities to unlock whatever if it has rampage. And then you can go with the blueprint to the table, the enclave, and start your crafting process, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the recipes and all that.
Yep.
And then you
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
choosing like the type of frame and start influencing the perk choice or whatever, or like the
But
stat
it can be
choices.
a different gun as long as the perk's in the perk pool, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
My
Yeah,
fidgety nature is going to be overwhelmed by all of this. I already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also says rampage or other damage perks. So there might even be like with deep sight resonance, when you extract stuff, there might be like a pool of perks that are grouped together. And like damage perks will be under rampage. So maybe you won't always have to find rampage to get rampage. You could find another kill clip might be in the rampage like mini perk pool. So if you find a gun with like kill clip on it and you extract the deep sight resonance from it, maybe then you can put rampage on whatever you're crafting.
That's true, yeah, because that also makes me go, well, then that wouldn't be one and done, I don't think. That would be like if you can just look for damage increasing perks, then it seems like you wouldn't have once you collect it, you wouldn't have collected it and can use it on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. A lot of questions.
Sounds like a lot of playing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then they go into reshaping. So they said that if you want to change your weapon, because like you're going to want to, right? Because you're gonna
Wanna
craft
experiment.
the weapon, and then like this right here, the high impact frame with 10 handling requires weapon level 7. So you're gonna have to use your weapon to get it to level 7 to then reshape it and add that 10 handling to it.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah.
So reshape. You can switch up what barrel, mags, or traits you choose, so you don't feel like you're locked down one path. So it seems like you can change just about everything.
How much do you think reshaping is going to cost?
Yeah, I don't know.
250,000.
Oh.
250,000 clever.
If I mean, like, if the high impact frame guide there is any indication, like 40,000 for the handling.
Just for the upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So yeah,
That
You wanna
reshape is
unslot
going
all
to be
of it?
costly.
200,000. 200,000 glimmer. Just give it to me. We'll do it.
That would
from
be
there.
super, super like prohibitive. But at the
Mhm.
same time, that's a big thing to let people just constantly rebuild their weapons that they've already spent time with. So I think a high cost.
It just means
is
people can
appropriate.
put time and effort into something and not be fearful that like they've put the wrong slot in. I'm gonna need to start again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Which is great
And-
because it means you got to use different combinations a lot more and
Yep.
feel emotionally attached to your weapon.
Emotional attachment to my weapons in
And-
Destiny. Thank you. Yes.
Do you
Yeah,
think this is
that
going to
is what I want.
increase like charity incentives? Like delete my 10,000 hours.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yes. 100.
Oh,
my
absolutely.
level 10,000 auto rifle. Yeah.
yeah.
My day one
That would-
hunter. Rest in peace.
That'd be great. The big thing that I was thinking of here. So, and I lost it. I just lost it.
It's gone.
It's gone. Never mind.
Yeah, that's
It
how
won't
my
come back.
brain
Reshaping? Reshaping costs? Glimmer costs? Reshape costs?
It's gone,
Reshape,
Mylan.
reshape your glimmer.
It's gone.
Reshaping
There's
glimmer?
no hope.
Glimmer taxes. The
Oh,
Vanguard IRS. What's their cost?
Oh man, the Vanguard's really taking it out of me this tax season. Oh no, the artifact. That's it. So
Got it.
it seems that they're trying to decrease the amount of prohibitive
Glimmer costs.
Right.
mechanics. Period. Especially with the artifact, because now you can unlock everything on the artifact just by putting time in. So they probably wouldn't have you have it be like an escalating amount of glimmer, but I would think like 100,000
Mm-hmm.
is fair.
Yeah. Always 100K.
Yeah.
No, please. I'm so glimmer poor all the time.
You gotta get to work.
Yeah.
Start
Get to work,
cracking
man.
that glimmer dust or whatever it is that makes it rain. Glimmer rain.
Yeah. I changed
Now we
Switch
have-
stuff. That's why.
Yeah.
Mementos, which seems like it's starting out pretty fresh in Witch Queen, but they're going to keep adding to it. And I'm really excited about this as well. So Although your majority of your crafting experience will be mixing, matching, and enhancing traits, there's also an opportunity for a bit of customization when it comes to appearances and activity-specific trackers. At launch, one weapon memento will be available for players to earn through Gambit.
Gambiteers rise
Looks
up.
like you might want to play Gambit.
They
Unlock.
really do Gambit.
Unlocking a Gambit-themed appearance and tracker. Rank up your weapon to max level, head back to the... So you have to get it to max level before being able to apply a memento, which changes the look of it.
Right.
What's
So
max level? We don't know, do we?
Didn't know, I didn't say.
It's above 7.
Yeah.
77.
Yeah, there's him. They are going to be adding more through Trials of Osiris and Grandmaster Nightfalls, but they do have plans for mementos down the line and are excited to introduce a new endgame rarity cosmetic item for players to chase. I love this
It's great.
because, like, so first of all, you have to get this weapon. You max it out. You've got all your perfect traits on it and all that good stuff, and then you can make it look the way that you want from the thing that you like to play. So some people will have a Gambit version, and some people have a Trials version.
This is
It's a little keychain
yeah.
that just hangs off the side.
It might be. I'd be happy with that.
Like,
And then they sell
Give
it
me
in
a
the Bungie store.
bobblehead Saint 14 thing for my gun,
It just hangs. It's
or a pigeon, a little pigeon on my gun.
Yep.
I'd like that.
We've talked so many times about like how the Call of Duty weapon skin grind is such a pull for a lot of people to get those, whatever the void skins or whatever the crap they're called. I love that they're embracing some of this stuff. Like I like the idea that you put in time, effort towards your weapon, and then you get to unlock some sort of cosmetic thing for it that shows, hey, this is your jam. This is my go-to gun right here.
And I'll say, I would not be surprised if they sold mementos in the store, but your weapon still had to be max level to apply it.
Sure.
I could see
It's
that.
inevitable, especially with Sony buying them now.
Honestly, I wouldn't be that bothered by that if it's still you have to get to max level with the weapon to apply it. Because then it's still an investment in the weapon.
Year of the Tiger memento.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just unlock that.
Stuff like that, I'm totally fine with. What I really appreciate though is when you have to do an activity like you did all the GMs this season, you got some sort of memento for that.
Yep.
That would be dope. Right?
No, I agree. And I think the important thing, like we always say, is that it's not themed after a thing in the game. Like if it's themed from something somewhere else or it's goofy, like the, old school Ghost, if there's an old school charm memento thing that I could get from my gun, fair play. Go for it.
If they're selling Savathun's bathwater hanging off the side of your gun in the Bungie store, I'm gonna be pissed. I want that from the raid.
Yep.
It's a little vial.
A little
just
vial.
tanks along the side.
Yep.
Dirt in there.
You see the little water move in there.
I want that. Make that immediately. And then there is exotic crafting. So you're not just going to be crafting legendaries. You're going to be crafting exotics.
Spicy.
Does Bungie know I'm having a child this year or what?
Oh, you might have to put it back in. Smile.
No.
Yeah.
Where's Dad? Don't worry. He's playing the game.
He's making exotics, child. Okay.
That just reminded me of my own childhood. Continue.
So the upcoming Osteostriga exotic SMG, and which is the pew pew toxic projectile
Pew pew toxic?
schmiggins. Yes.
The gassy gun.
And the 3 class unique exotic glaives can be crafted through the Enclave once you find their patterns. Oh man, it would be so excited when I see that a pattern for an exotic drop. Hello.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god. I feel the excitement already.
It reminds me of how the exotics used to look. They almost used to look like a blueprint, right? Like the
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd get the exotic bounty. You wouldn't get the exotic before; it would be the bounty to then do the thing. Remember that?
No.
The D1,
you get bounties.
OG D1. They would drop us
like
bounties.
Bad
Yeah.
Juju
Be like,
bounty.
yeah, the Bad Juju
Yeah.
bounty. Yeah, Pocket Infinity.
That was so exciting.
Yeah.
So while legendary weapons can be crafted from the ground up, exotic crafting is more about fine-tuning something with a defined identity. You may have the opportunity to customize things like barrels or stocks while preserving the exotic look and feel. Looking for a longer range profile for the gun or opting to shred through enemies close and personal, through the Enclave you can do just that.
That's cool.
So was that in the same discussion as exotics?
Yeah.
So
You're only
that's-
going to be able to change the like barrel and stock pretty much.
Yeah, that's really fascinating though that they're saying like you want to mow through them up close and personal, or play a long range game. Like that feels pretty significant for an exotic.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Almost like they had multiple identities in mind when they designed them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a big change. I mean, they've kind of been swinging that way somewhat with recent exotics and the random roll type of stuff that they've been introducing with exotics and seeing how that can kind of play out. So maybe this is the evolution of that, seeing more customizability.
That felt like kind of like conditioning for this almost,
Yeah.
to the point where you could see like not that everybody loved random rolls on exotics, but like you could kind of see the thinking of like, okay, here's random roll exotics, let's try the water with that. But this feels like a more elegant way of executing on that, especially if they've designed it with multiple identities in mind for certain weapons.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you're not getting like Vorpal on the
Right.
SMG, right? You're just changing the barrel and the stock.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
It's not changing like a massive part of the exotic like Vorpal on a DMT would.
Yeah. You're not putting Rampage on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm gonna extract the exotic perk from my exotics and then put it on legendaries.
Yeah, it's some
You gotta
resonant.
attach this worm.
Gotta get a worm.
Yeah, worm
Get a worm.
extractor. Accelerate your process. Expand your farming with extra worm extractors.
So that's weapon crafting.
That is
Goddamn.
huge. That is such a big change to the Destiny universe.
It's huge. Yeah.
And it definitely gets me excited. Like, I've had concerns that this crafting system is just going to feel like another way to get random rolls,
Mhm.
And this definitely feels like they've put in the effort.
There's
to
a
make
lot of
something
thought
new.
into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of thought, and it's a different experience for a Destiny player. So
And
very exciting.
It doesn't take away from, whether you love it or hate it, it doesn't take away from the grind of Destiny, but gives you more control, which is a pretty, if it all works out well, like it's a pretty hard balancing act to maintain the grind in a looting shooter and give you control, because usually they don't go together, because you give someone too much control, then they don't need to grind anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done within a few days. Yeah.
Because you've
It's-
unlocked whatever and you don't need to do it anymore.
It's deepening the loop, man. It really is.
Mhm.
It's deepening the loop. It's making you invested in your weapons and also looking for random drops. It's great.
There's also like a hidden part of it that I really enjoy, of like being able to sync up objectives, like picking 4 or 5 and running them all at the same time and having them pop within like a matter of minutes or seconds from one another.
Yeah.
That adds to this. It adds to that feeling as well.
Definitely. Yeah. I like that feeling of like you're working towards something, but then you're also, like you said, the synergizing other parts of it, getting your gambit stuff done with these bounties, but also working on your weapon to extract the essence. And yeah, I like that too.
Yep. So next we're going into a bunch of different things. They do have quite a long post, which I don't think we need to read, that goes into pinnacle and pursuit weapons, because it's like the history of pinnacle and pursuit weapons.
The problem of pinnacles, right?
Yeah, which we have heard the problem of pinnacles before and why they're not here anymore, but they do show off a new pursuit weapon that's coming in season 16, which is the Reckless Endangerment Shotgun. So this is going to be introducing a new Steady Hands perk, which gives you a massive handling boost after a kill plus snapshot.
Yeah, interesting.
Shotguns are back, baby.
They're back. They definitely left. They were gone. But the more super exciting thing is something they're introducing, which is origin traits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This combined with weapon crafting makes me go, oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. So every weapon that's new or returning in Witch Queen will have an origin trait determined by its source in a third trait column, including all new legendary weapons and all returning Trials, Iron Banner, and Nightfall weapons. Origin traits will only appear on new drops of a weapon, because I can't imagine the programming
Yeah.
to just add origin perks to all weapons ever
Mhm.
that exist. So that makes sense. These traits vary in effect, but the guideline is that they either have a high uptime and medium power effects or low uptime and high power. There's going to be 14 origin traits in total shipping with Witch Queen in Season 16, and we expect to ship around 3 new ones each season after Witch Queen. For example, one for Season 17, one for the raid or dungeon, and one for the seasonal event. Until we have
Dope.
one for each event.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
It's super cool.
Super cool. So here are some examples of origin traits. For Trials of Osiris, there's one called Alacrity, where you gain increased reload, stability, aim assist, and range when you're the last living member of your fire team or running solo. So the numbers on that
Solo play.
specifically, plus 20 reload, plus 20 stability, plus 10 aim assist, and plus 10 range. And they do specify that solo also means solo lost sectors and also rumble.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Mhm.
Nightfall strikes are getting stunning recovery, where stunning a champion partially refills your magazine, triggering health regeneration and improves your recovery. So you're going to get 60 health instantly and plus 40 recovery for 3 seconds.
That's awesome.
This will be so nice in GMs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Nice
god.
bonus perk right there.
So good.
Yep.
Love that. And then Crucible is getting one quiet moment, which is going to give you a plus 40 reload stat when out of combat. And they say out of combat is when you haven't dealt or received damage for 4 seconds. That's a fast reload.
Yeah, this one I could kind of care less
It's
about.
alone, you know. I'm like,
I'm gonna reload my weapon out of combat anyways, and like at that point I
You
don't
wanna
care about the speed.
You go in combat and then you run.
Yeah.
You run out of there. You get the hell out of there. Reload your gun. Come back.
This felt like a safe perk. Like what can we put on this that wouldn't break anything?
Reload speed. Strikes are getting Vanguard's Vindication, where final blows will give you 7 health.
Yeah,
That's
is
cool.
Yeah, I like the concept of things like this, like some sort of life
Yeah.
steal, life leech type of thing. That because if
Mm.
you got a horde of thrall, and suddenly you're chewing through them, and like you're staying alive, taking damage, but still getting health. I like stuff like that.
Just little chunks back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, especially with this, it's just final blows. So, as you're killing Thrall or all the little baby boys, you just get your health bumped up. It's
Or
really exciting.
Pop one, hit Firefly, and then all of a sudden you get 50,
Ooh.
60 health back.
That's going to be fun.
Right?
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And then anytime it makes sense due to the source activity, a weapon can have multiple origin traits that you can select between. So, for example, Nightfall weapons can select between the Nightfall and Vanguard traits. Trials of Osiris weapons can select between Trials and Crucible traits. And then the Pursuit weapon, which is the shotgun coming up in this season, can select between the Gambit, Vanguard, and Crucible traits because you can get it from all of those activities.
Makes definitely worth having.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
And there
it's a
are,
shotgun. Shotgun reload would make a lot of sense. Now that I think about it, I wasn't thinking from a shotgunner's perspective, but because like you're like,
Yeah, true. Yeah,
right?
true.
Yeah.
Very true. Next we have weapon foundries, which is really exciting. But Mylan, I was wondering if you would want to read the lore that is before
The lore voice?
the give us your lore voice before we get into the statistics.
I was sort of surprised by this. I sort of did a little bit of a
I did a little bit of
role
lore.
play in the
Yeah.
the Bungie TWAB. It says, Guardian, there was something I wanted to tell you. What was it? Banshee scratches his forehead. Oh yeah, guns. I was cleaning out that locker back there. Banshee motions to a dust-caked storage container. Found a couple things you might be interested in. The Exo reaches into a crate next to him and pulls out a glistening Fugi?
Fugue.
55
Fugue.
sniper rifle.
Fugue.
Fugue.
Fugue. Fugue 55 sniper rifle. A stack of shiny new Suros weapons manufactured for the Red War by the looks of them. He peers down the sights of the rifle. Been years since I held a new Suros. Good balance, solid craftsmanship. It's just damn fine work. Banshee stares off wistfully, seeming to forget you're there. His eyes snap back to you. Oh, it's so sad, Banshee. What was I going to tell you? Ah, right, guns. You've been over this, Banshee. Banshee uncrates more weapons in mint condition. These were earmarked for Zavala, Drifter, and Shags, but maybe if you're lucky, they'll let you play with them. There's a lot more where that came from. Banshee gestures to a whole stack of crates swimming in a cloud of dust. Hand cannons, pulse rifles, Omolon, Hake, Vice. You're going to have a ball.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Miley.
So literally, Banshee forgot he just had all these weapons in
For
plain
years.
sight.
Got a
That's the lore on
shipment.
that.
Behind
Yeah,
him.
that's the lore.
Classic.
Got a
That's the lore on
shipment
that.
from
He was
3
like,
years ago.
"Oh, yeah. That's right.
I forget about
got
some of the
this."
books that are behind me.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, true. I guess if you don't need to go through it. So here we go. In Season 16, we're replacing the old world loot pool with 12 new weapons in the style of Destiny 2 Year 1 Foundry weapon sets. 3 weapons each from the Suros, Omolon, Hake, and Vice foundries, plus 1 foundry weapon each for Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible.
Cool.
So there's a picture here of a bunch of different things. That Suros sniper looks spicy. Very excited about that. And the reason it's spicy is because of the origin traits of these damn foundries. So they're also going to be foundry origin traits.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh.
Suros is getting Suros Synergy. Reloading grants this weapon plus 40 handling, 20% flinch resistance for 6 seconds after reloading.
Cool.
Very cool. Hake is getting Hake Breach Armaments, where this weapon deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. So turrets include stasis turrets, like the Warlocks stasis turrets, plus 15% to vehicles and plus 30% to structures and turrets. So if you want to go do Deep Stone Crypt, kick some ass, that vehicle guy.
Yeah, does he qualify as a vehicle guy?
Yeah, he's a vehicle guy.
Wow. Well, that's great.
Really?
Get ready, Tanix.
Tanix is a vehicle.
Tanix the Roadborn.
What kind of vehicle is he, though? Like, if you...
It's like a hovercraft.
What about like
He's just trying to take.
But the opening mission with the opening encounter where you got to shoot the security system, does that count as a structure?
Yeah, I don't really know what a structure is.
Is that damage to a structure?
Are we going to get destroyable elements around the map?
Interesting.
Maybe.
Structures
You know what it is?
turrets.
It's the Glimmer Extraction public event when you're killing the little box thing to make it heroic.
Yeah, that's
do
what
more
I'm thinking.
damage to that.
Structures, yes.
You're gonna be the best blueberry helper around town, let me tell you.
But I see people talking about like Sepics and servitors and shanks and all that. Are they classified as vehicles?
Oh yeah, maybe are they?
They're more than meets the eye.
Because wow, like, so your Suros weapons do more damage to them if that's the case.
Your hockey.
Or yeah, sorry, Hake, not Suros. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I did not know that if they're classified as vehicles.
Very cool.
Be able to test it pretty easy because you should be able to switch between the traits, right? And then you can like put the Hake Breach armament on and do the
Boy, I would be really
take it off.
disappointed if it turns out that they don't get classified as vehicles when they're clearly some sort of machinery.
They are a machine. That's true.
Yeah.
Next, we have Omolon that's getting Omolon Fluid Dynamics, and this weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. So you get max plus 20 stability, plus 30 reload. That's at the max, and then it slowly reduces as the magazine gets lower. It's pretty cool.
This is definitely for me because I'm always reloading
An
after one
Omolon
bullet.
fusion rifle. Well, no, because then that's at the bottom. Never mind. Just kidding. Vice is getting Vice Stinger, where chance on damage to partially refill this weapon's magazine. This is exciting for the the Vice SMG, right? Where you're just like constantly shooting and it's just feeding.
I've missed Valakaden so much and seeing like
Yes.
kind of pop up there.
Yeah.
So ready.
It's too bad you can't combo that with the Vanguard's Vindication, get small health back. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Mm-hmm.
But since you can
Oh
only
True.
pick,
God.
you can only pick one trait at a time. Now. That would be amazing, though, right?
That would be
That would
so good. That'd be too good.
And then they go even deeper with the personality of these foundries, and it says that in addition to the foundry origin trait, the weapons pools also lean into that foundry's identity. So big damage for Hake, consistency for Suros, ability tie-ins and weird stuff for Omelon.
Weird stuff.
I don't know what that means, but that sounds good. And never stop firing for Vice. And then they give us a little picture of an upcoming Vanguard shotgun, crucible hand cannon, and gambit auto rifle. So
Yeah.
the shotgun is a Suros,
Mhm.
the hand cannon is an Omelon, and then what is the oh,
Isn't
that's
that a
Hake.
Hake?
Yeah, Hake gambit auto rifle.
Yep. Cool.
And then, like you said, any foundry weapons that also drop from a source outside of the whirlpool can switch between those two traits. But they do also say that this doesn't imply that foundry weapons will be common outside of the whirlpool.
Right.
So, for example, this is what your gun can look like. A roll on the new Gambit Hake high impact auto rifle, which is called Herod C, might look like this: corkscrew rifling, polygonal rifling, armor piercing rounds, flared magwell, perpetual motion, focus fire, invader tracker / the Hake origin trait, kill tracker, and range masterwork. God damn.
Cool.
I'm also very
So-
intrigued about that invader tracker
Yeah.
Gambit origin trait.
You like get pings on where they're at as soon as they invade.
It's got to be something like that. Yeah.
Or like
Gotta be
on
something.
the scope, it just points a direction in the corner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. That's a lot of stuff on a weapon.
It is,
Very
yeah.
much.
There's so many changes with this that are coming with Witch Queen. Like it's
Yeah.
So
a
many.
little hard to comprehend everything all at once.
Everything is just
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much deeper and really delving into the fantasy of everything, not just us
Mhm.
as players with our subclasses, but our weapons and which weapons we choose to use, where we get those weapons from. What do we like? Consistency? Do we like, the Vice always shooting kind of play style? It's
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, I think I saw someone in chat mention like I wasn't quite reading exactly what the conversation was, but like if this is a way to sunset things, like this is a great way,
Oh yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. We were
Getting
having
a-
that conversation
mhm.
in chat earlier and on my channel where it was like, this is a way to replace the weapons that you have in your vault without without sunsetting them really, like as
Yeah.
a soft sunset. Because do you want to play with the weapons that don't have all these perks, or do you want to play with all the weapons that do have
Yeah.
those synergies involved with them?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, do you want to craft these cool weapons and also have these traits and be able to use? Yeah, it's a good compromise. It really is.
It is good. Yeah, because you really gonna want to. I mean, maybe you do want to keep your weapon, but your
Right.
weapon can now come with 2 origin traits and all sorts of stuff, and the ability to take it to the crafting table.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does kind of
Yeah.
kill the motivation to grind weapons out prior to Witch Queen. Like if you're looking to grab like a really nice succession, because now there's going to be other things that fulfill that role.
Yeah. Yep. Really cool.
they
Watts, do you want me
also-
to
yes.
take over for the global one?
You can do, yeah. I just want to
Unless you-
mention
yeah.
that the weapon foundries, they haven't brought all of them back yet, but you can expect to see weapon foundries receiving new additions each season following Witch Queen.
Yeah.
With some fun surprises thrown in later in the year. What's that?
Yeah, I'm up for that. I've missed like the whole weapon foundry type of stuff, and like
Me
They-
too, yeah.
they started going into it with Destiny 2 in the beginning, and then like they had to snap back and recalculate where they were going for good reason. So it's nice to see that finally coming back. So next section, they're just talking about global stuff, and they're saying, so I'm going to read it verbatim, what they say here. So this is where the fun begins. The rest of the section will be more of a patch notes preview. Lots of bullets, not a lot of pictures. Still have, they're saying go get a snack because you're going to need it. So everyone go get a snack.
I don't have a snack, and I have a little bit of Coca-Cola left.
I
Yeah,
got
same.
water.
Yeah, take a big
Drink-
chunk.
Drink
Big
water.
chunk. Definitely.
I got a Cliff
We're
Bar I
only
can share with the
halfway through the
class.
12, by the
Oh
way.
God,
Oh,
I need a snack.
I would love a snack, actually.
Is that gluten free, Dan?
I could. Can I get fries?
Yeah, get fries.
Let me see.
After you're on your own, we're getting snacks.
All right.
Kenny doesn't have fries.
Here we go. So, kill trackers were once a reason to masterwork a weapon, but we now see no reason to gate these behind masterworking. They'll be present by default on all weapons that ship in Forsaken and later. Exotic weapons prior to Forsaken will be updated in later release. This is great. I'm happy about that because I always thought it was weird how you want to get your weapon masterworked
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't count the stuff that you'd already done with it.
Yeah,
Right.
you've already killed thousands of things with it.
Yeah, and it's like, well, now we're gonna count. So yeah, that's nice. Yes, this means masterworking should no longer be a mandatory, and we expect the +10 to a weapon stat or a +10 to primary stat plus +3 to other stats for adepts to only matter to dedicated PvP players. We have no specific plans for changes to masterworking at this stage, but we'll revisit it later. Note that we did discuss gating the origin trait behind masterworking, but ultimately this would not have been good for what they were doing. So nice that
I'm
it's
so glad they decided against that.
yeah, right. That would have. Yep, agreed. Following in the armor team's footsteps, weapon mods for legendary weapons are now free and instant to insert. So that's great. Thank you very much. We believe that many pain points around special weapons and Crucible are exacerbated by how easy it is currently to acquire special ammo. And while we've touched this in the past, we're making a further adjustment now. Players now only drop one special ammo on death or equivalent, no matter how much they were carrying, as long as they weren't completely empty. The maximum you can pick up off a special brick is 1 for a shotgun, fusion, or sniper, or equivalent for other weapons. Scavenger mods add to this as normal, but we'll be evaluating their place in Crucible in the future. I kind of feel like they need to cut Scavenger, personally. Like, then again, I don't really play Crucible right now, so maybe it's a pain point that's going to happen. But I just feel like don't make the Scavenger work in Crucible, because then it's like, why aren't you using Scavenger? You have to run Scavenger on that, right?
Yeah.
Players quickly found another way to execute quick swap glitch, so we're fixing that. So they fixed another animation cancel. All right, archetypes. The Season 15 fusion rifle rework has a lot of moving parts. Rapid fire, precision, and adaptive fusions came out of this different, but all quite strong. But high impact fusions are hurting. We've definitely seen all fusion rifle subfamilies occupy their different roles and want to maintain the large differences in charge. Time to keep these distinct for now. So we're nudging damage up to make it easier for these to land kills at range in PvP. And we're bumping the PvE damage scaler. That said, we'll keep an eye out for how things are doing and adjust it down the line if needed. Increased high impact fusion rifle damage per bolt from 62 to 64. They say it doesn't sound like a lot, but it does allow for more rolls across the board to do past the kill threshold. Increased high impact fusion rifle PvE damage bonus from 15 to 20%. That sounds like a lot, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good bump right there. So
yeah.
Although
There's a couple times in here that they mention numbers and it's just like, ooh, that one hurts, or a little bit,
or gets you really excited. It's a change coming up.
Yeah, I guess the high impact wasn't really competing DPS compared with like the rapid fire, right?
It just felt like such a big change. I'm still not used to it, and like I still prefer null composure across the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
absolutely,
or Cartesian coordinate or whatever. Like that's my go-to. Let's see. We like the crowd control capabilities of breach grenade launchers in PvE have taken off. Myelin, them crowd control, concussion, blinding.
Ain't good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But as it stands, there isn't a meaningful trade-off for the added ability that blinding or concussion grenades give you, and it's unreasonable that a way to really annoy other players in PvP can also one-shot them.
Yeah.
So they're reducing blinding and concussion grenade damage by 25%. They didn't mention whether or not this was PvP only, so it sounds like it's across the board for everything. because they say that
Yeah.
there should be some sort of penalty for blinding enemies. I don't necessarily agree with that. In PvE, I feel like PvE they should keep the damage the same. In PvP, I get it because that's super.
I
annoying.
don't think it's going to change it. It's still going to be great utility, and I guess that's what they want you to do is use it as utility, not like to kill shit with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like it was one-shotting anything anyway, especially if you're doing a Grandmaster. It was just,
Yeah.
you know.
Again, they didn't mention whether or not it was PvP exclusive. Maybe it is, and they just forgot to put in there. But they said 25% without any quantifier of what sandbox specifically. Rocket launcher subfamilies have lacked meaningful differences for a while now, and their free tracking precisions are flat out better. This is correct. Might as well delete everything else. So we're pushing them further apart by adjusting damage. We may take a deeper look at rocket launchers later. Damage adjustments by subfamily. Precision, 0.95 times damage. High impact, the same, 1 times. Adaptive and aggressive, getting a 1.05 damage increase. So a bump right there. So
I like it.
yeah, so the
They're
trade-off.
differentiating them more, which is nice.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was maybe a little bit deeper of a differentiation, not just damage, like the way the rocket, I don't know, some sort of blast
velocity.
radius. Yeah, velocity, blast radius, the way it interacts with explosions and stuff. I don't know. Like those all sound more complicated than just damage adjustments. So, but I do feel like there's only one rocket in the game that you would actually use. You know. All right, so we took a big swing at sniper rifle aim assist based on zoom and beyond light, and have seen this play out. Are revisiting the tuning on the zoom based aim assist scaling. Low zoom snipers got more of an aim assist a reduction than they needed, and high zoom snipers are getting some pretty silly headshots right now. So they reduced a variance in aim assist, scaling between low 35 zoom and high zoom 60. Cone angular scalar increased by 25% on low zoom and reduced by 9% on a high zoom. Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. Computer calculations. Pulse rifles.
High zoom's getting some silly headshots. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
where your
takeaway.
info comes from.
That's the takeaway.
And making them less silly.
Pulse rifles take slightly too long to kill red bar enemies in PvE. They're buffing them. Yeah, they're buffing them. Their damage versus miners by 10%. So giving a nice 10%.
That's going to be nice.
But if you want exotic pulse rifles to feel better, oh boy, keep reading. That's right. Exotic weapons, exotic primary weapons, specifically in trace rifles, aren't sufficiently strong enough against their legendaries. True. I completely agree with that. Note, so they're increasing it. Increased damage versus miners in PvE. 40%.
Big number.
That's a big hit right there.
Into it.
Big bump.
Yeah, 40% is massive.
That's like a different feeling weapon.
I guess was pretty good before. That's going to be even better, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
That's going to be real good.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Imagine bows too.
Oh, sweet, sweet bows.
Right?
I can't wait.
Your lemon arc, what's the arc one again? I'm blanking on the name.
Trinity Ghoul.
Yeah, Trinity Ghoul with that 40% buff. Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
It's going to be tasty.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Chaperone is a terror in PvP. Yeah. Particularly with the nerf to pellet shotguns and the reduced frequency of grenade and melee abilities. And it outperforms some weapons that ought to counter it. For example, sidearms and submachine guns. So they're reducing the passive range buff from 2 meters to half a meter. That's a big hit.
Woo! That's a big hit.
Yeah. No more
It'll
easy
still be
shots.
really good. Because Chaperone is pretty easy to get headshots with. Like it's a very generous weapon of giving you headshots. So it's still going to be a good weapon, but it's not going to be, like they said, it's not going to be in sidearm and SMG range.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
That's nice. I'm glad. Terabot is extremely strong as it is. Whoops, I skipped duality. My bad. Duality is in a similar place to Chaperone, but it's not quite as rangy. On the other hand, its exotic trait shipped with the constraint that it would wipe on reload to make it harder to chain. Having seen it in action for a while, we don't think that limitation needs to be there. So they reduced passive range buff in slug mode when aiming down sights from 1.25 meters to half a meter. Pellet mode is unaffected. The on Black Wings damage buff no longer clears on reload.
That's good. Of course, it's a nerf to slug in general with Chaperone and Duality getting that range nerf. But it is really nice that you can, because the thing that sucks in PvP with on Black Wings that is just a pain in the ass is that you have 2 bullets. You get a kill, you have on Black Wings, and then you get another kill, and then you're done. You have to reload, and then your perk's gone. So it made it kind of hard to go on a really fun long spree with that gun.
Right.
So now people are gonna be able to do that, and it's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
TWAB is extremely strong as it is, but it currently demands complete commitment with no weapon switching. This constraint is a bit harsher than it needs to be, so we've loosened it without removing it entirely. Also with the duration extension when damaging players did actually function in PvP. It was so subtle that players kept reporting that it was bugged, so we bumped them up. So now it reduces perk progress by half instead of clearing it on the weapon stow. Increased Ravenous Beast duration increases from damaging a player slightly.
So excited for this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are very scared because TWAB is it's a very good weapon in PvP already. But I always loved this weapon. It's why I grinded the crown super freaking hard. It's just because it's an SMG, especially if you're on a controller, you have a lot less range with SMGs than M&K. And I'm running around. I kill one person with TWAB, and now I feel like I can't switch to my sniper rifle to take out a long range opponent.
Right.
Whereas now I can go, okay, I'm going to lose a little bit, but I'm not losing my entire progress towards Ravenous Beast.
Yeah.
So now I can pull out my sniper and deal with that much better. Because it does feel very restricting that as soon as you've gotten a kill or done some damage, it's like, you better not stow it because you're wasting all the progress you made.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
Yeah, definitely good. Ruinous Effigy has been overdue for a look at its Beyond Light nerf, the nerf to damage dealt while guarding. So we're rolling that back. Note that the other perk of that nerf was to airborne standard melee attack, and this hasn't been touched. Increased the damage dealt by guarding with a transmutation sphere by 66%, 30% against players. Note transmutation sphere multi-kills now count for orb generation armor mods. Previously, only kills with the beam would trigger this. So, Lumina's stats just don't compare with the other 140 RPM adaptive hand cannons, and its usage reflects that. So we're updating these alongside the legendary hand cannons that also used to be 150s. Increased range stat from 44 to 59. Increased base stability stat from 46 to 56. And then it says, sorry, Thorn fans, Thorn is already super popular and strong, so get wrecked, nerds. So
this is really good because Lumina is a very cool weapon, but it does feel just slightly worse than all other 140 hand cannons. It just feels like it's got a weird kind of bounce to it, that it feels really floaty and like it doesn't really, it feels like one of those, it feels like a year 1 D2 hand cannon where you're kind of fighting it. Whereas now a lot of the hand cannons we get are super smooth and very easy to use. So this is gonna be great. I'm excited because I hate using it at the moment.
Yeah, is there any reason to use it in PvE?
You can heal your teammates.
Yeah.
And give damage buff.
Because, that 40% increase in damage there also make it feel better.
True, yeah.
Ager's Scepter. Initial implementation used super regeneration scalars, which had very weird effects and activities that also had scalars. So we've rebuilt it to turn off regeneration while active and have implemented a slower drain using a different method. Fixed being able to activate or continue using empowered mode while suppressed or stasis encased. Rebuilt the perk used to modify supercharge rate. Now freezes super recharge and deducts super directly, fixing several issues with activities that change charge rate and outliers for recharge based on intellect stat. Super should now drain more slowly while empowered. Did you get all that?
What I understand is when you have things that are changing your super regeneration, Aegis was sort of messing with that. And
Yeah.
maybe not
Mhm.
functioning as intended, and they fixed it.
Yeah, they had to rebuild it.
That catalyst, right? This is the catalyst that does. I actually don't think I have a catalyst for it.
Yeah, I don't think I have that either.
Drains your super and goes
Mhm.
Super Saiyan or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dead Man's Tale feels good to use on both mouse and keyboard and controller now. Is that true? Or is everybody happy about Dead Man's Tale now?
If they delete it, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
When I read that, I was
keep
like,
getting messages about it, so I
yeah.
don't
When
use
I read that, I was like, really? Oh, that I guess in their build. That's why. I felt like it was past tense what they were saying, but I guess it's
They buffed it on controller. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually haven't used it recently, so I don't know. And they're saying we don't want to go back to it feeling unreliable, but it's far too good at spamming hipfire shots at long ranges as it stands, so they reduced the catalyst hipfire rate from 150 RPM to 130.
It's nice. There's
Yeah.
it's a scout rifle that has no downside of using a
Close range.
scout rifle.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like you can just hip fire across the map. You fire faster than everything. You have like no range drop off ever.
Mhm.
It's a long range weapon without the downfall of being a long range weapon. It's annoying.
And Volble DMD nullifies any roaming super.
Yes, it does. A pain in the ass.
Speaking of pain in the asses, Lorenzo, and Arbalest
Yep.
remain fairly hard to counter in PvP. One common complaint is
True.
how easily they can shoot through flinch. We'll be
They can.
keeping an eye on these things moving forward and have another change planned if needed. So they're increasing flinch received. Yay, flinch.
It's a big difference between like using Lorenz and using a sniper when you get shot. Like if someone shoots me and I'm using Lorenz, I'm like, probably gonna get the headshot anyway. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
But sniping, you're like, Jesus Lord, I can't see.
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah. Seems a little light on the nerf. Forerunner's ammo economy was fairly conservative when we shipped it for the 30th anniversary. So they've increased ammo pickup from special ammo brick from 2 to 3 and from 4 to 5 with the scavenger mod. So
Nice.
a little bit more ammo in PvP for that.
Good
Not
stuff.
bad. It's pretty strong.
I like that.
Now we're on to legendary weapons. Several legendary weapons have out of band stats, either to their benefit, detriment, or a bit of both. When infusion caps were still around, this was okay because they'd cycle out eventually, but now that the weapons remain viable in all activities indefinitely, and the solution is to adjust outliers to be in band. So this is what we got. Hand cannons. The band for legendary 140 RPM hand cannon aim assist ends at 84. And this extreme should be for a hand cannon from a pinnacle activity, like a raid or a trials. But when 150s were converted to 140s, many of their stats were either too low or too high. We're adjusting the stats of these to be within the standard range. Their standard ranges as follows. So like Dire Promise, +4 range, +3 stability, -4 aim assist. Waking Vigil, +6 range, +5 stability, -3 aim assist. They got Jack, Queen, King, spare rations, and stuff like that. I figure if you're really curious about this stuff, you should go into the read up on all this stuff.
I'd take that.
Yeah.
I'd take that because hand cannons are already incredibly easy to use with their aim assist. That getting more stability and more range is just going to make them feel better.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is Jack, Queen, King, and spare rations as sunset weapons being in this list.
Yeah,
What's up
and it's a lot of their aim assist is getting reduced heavily on that.
Yeah, they're sunset.
So yeah.
Why are they adjusting them? If they're
Maybe
sticky.
Zer?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they just know that they're
maybe.
outliers and they don't want them to just clearly feel better.
Future plans.
Could be, yeah. Fellrunner's Lie intrinsic perk makes it far too consistent and lethal compared to similar shotguns, and it's had plenty of time to shine. So plus 15% spread angle. It's spreading the Fellrunner's Lie. So less consistent. Most of Icolo's SMG stats are wildly out of band for an aggressive SMG, but it does suffer from having a low zoom compared to other popular options. So +1 on the zoom, -5 on the range, -7 stability, -8 handling, and -5 aim assist. So quite a significant cut across the board on that.
Yeah, those are quite significant drops.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame.
I
That's a
always
weapon that
wondered
I really
why
enjoy.
that felt so good.
No, you know why? It was out of band.
It was out of band. It always
It's an
felt
auto
like
rifle.
SMG. Yeah.
You filthy Iclos SMG, get in line. Typically, we don't adjust base stats on weapons, specific weapons at all post ship that have already shipped. So we don't intend to do this regularly. So this is kind of outliers for them.
Right.
Let's see. Now we got the perk list here. We're getting there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We're getting there.
I need to
Couple
go
more
get some
sections.
food. All right,
Couple
one
more
more
sections.
section.
We got
We're getting there.
We're already 2 hours into this. My God.
We are, yeah.
the marathon continues. Let's
Yeah.
go.
So we want players. So perks. We want players to be able to choose to build into hip firing more easily. So we're adjusting the hip fire grip perk to support this. Now increase damage, fall off start and end distances by 20%, except on shotguns, snipers, and fusion rifles.
And it's worth noting,
Mhm.
before people panic,
Yep.
that DMG did clarify that the hip fire grip buffs will not apply to the last word.
Okay.
So, because that's what everyone was like, oh, hip fire grip's getting buffed. Oh my God, last word's going to be nuts.
My last word.
It's not doing anything. Nothing's
No.
happening.
Exotics usually get tuned separately, even for those small perks like that. Adagio often felt like it changed a weapon's subfamily to the next slowest fire rate of fire, but worse, particularly when comparing damage fall off. So they've increased duration from 5 to 7 seconds, increased damage bonus, except on bows and fusion rifles, from 25 to 30%. Now adds plus 10 range stat. Added a timer to the buff text to make it easier to tell when it's going to expire.
It sounds fun.
Yeah. Dual loader is okay on paper, but in practice, that reload speed is pretty painful. So reduced reload stat penalty from negative 50 to negative 35. Danger Zone felt pretty risky to use in some cases. I'm not sure which one Danger Zone is. Resulting in a lot of self-damage. Reduced self-damage scalar for grenade launchers. Combined with the other scalars, this ends up reducing self-damage from 1.25 to 0.75.
You are no longer a danger to yourself.
Yeah.
No longer danger zone.
No longer
So
danger
it's-
zone.
It's when you have close enemies and it buffs your grenades.
Oh,
Yeah,
right,
which
right,
makes it
okay,
kind of
yeah.
rough to
think it's-
like. You
it's
have to
like,
be
well, they must-
around near, and you have to be near enemies, a bunch of enemies.
shoot your
But if
grenade,
you
yeah.
if you
Yeah.
shoot your grenade launcher, yeah, and it kills you. So that's
rough.
good.
Yep. But if it
Good
drops
stuff.
from a Vanguard thing with the Vanguard trait and get health for every enemy you kill.
Now we're talking. And chain
Explosive.
reaction somehow on there.
Yeah. Feel like in Borderlands, some of those like instant death and then resurrection builds. Let's see. Tap the Trigger is the meta breaking perk on a particular fusion rifle. When stacked with other elements of this role, it makes fusion rifles much too stable. So much so that we stopped putting it on fusion rifles. And then Squidface sold it a few times. Damn you, Squidface. With this change, is that the first time they've acknowledged him as Squidface?
I think so. I
Yeah,
feel like
right?
it is.
It's always been Zer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Bungie officially accepting that he's a squid, right? Wow.
Huh?
So this was the this is kind of directly hitting the Zer main ingredient role that came with tap the trigger
Yeah.
under pressure.
So they said, with this change, we believe it's quite strong perk without being overpowered. So it's likely to appear on fusion rifles. Note, we did try to reduce the stability from 40 to 20, but playtest, it wasn't very predictable or perceptible. So on fusion rifles only, reduced stability bonus from plus 40 to plus 10 for tap the trigger, this perk. A changed max recoil angle from 0.5 to 0.875 and changed error angle scalar from 0.9 to 0.975. Unchanged in all other
guess
weapons.
what? I've been using my Adept Plug 1 we got last week anyway, so
I wish I
Don't
had
need
a
it.
good one. I didn't get a good one.
yeah, I've been enjoying mine a lot.
You know what? I'll get one on
So-
Witch Queen, and then it's going to have a trait.
It's
So-
true, yeah.
Gonna have
Even
two
better.
traits.
Yeah, 2 traits. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, Headseeker didn't work as intended on aggressive burst pulse rifles because the buff's duration was too short. Sacred Province is the only viable pulse rifle that benefits from this in Season 16. Although there is such a pulse rifle, or a pulse in the season, it doesn't roll with Headseeker, but expect to see more in the future on that. So extended buff duration from 0.17 to 0.3 seconds.
Okay. Nice.
Now let's talk about Eager Edge. It is a lot of fun to use, but it breaks the game,
It
is
is.
basically what they're saying.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. We want to remain fun, but
Yeah.
also
They
there's a new
want
raid
you-
coming out. And
They
don't
want you to not
get
skip the
Stop
raid.
flying at Mach 10 speed.
Yeah. Stop it. You're skipping the encounter. Damn it. So they've
All I
reduced.
hear is there's going to be a sparrow section in the new raid, and they don't want you
Exactly.
looping through
yeah.
it as quick as possible.
There's Dick
Yeah,
Wall 2.0, and they don't want you skipping it.
They were
Oh,
saying
it's so
here
fun,
that
though.
because you know what happened with when Forsaken came and people got into the raid and were able to like look at a bunch of stuff. So they
Yeah.
do specifically say that with the fresh raid and other content coming, they want to retain the challenge behind that and not have people breaking out of maps and finding stuff.
Totally. Yep.
So.
Yep. So they're reducing the lunge distance benefit while airborne by 25%, and now they cap maximum player airborne velocity to a fairly high value while active.
You'll
So,
go fast, just not game-breakingly fast. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like it's broken
It
right
makes
now.
it sound like I think it's going to be way harder to sword skate with the hunter by the looks of this because of the timing. You do the lunge off an edge to get like the glitch to do it. So if they drop that by 25%, it's probably less of a margin, even more so to hit your button combos.
Hmm.
You got to do
Yeah.
shadow dive and a jump at the same time, basically.
Yeah.
But you should be able to zoom with the Titan and the Warlock still, but you just won't go as quick.
Right. They're hitting you with the cap. Be like, slow
Yeah.
down there, Sonic.
You can only drive 55.
Yeah. They're shutting you down. Occasionally, we'll shelve perks because they're not working for some reason. Too strong or too weak. This means that we won't put them on new weapons for the future. In many cases, we'd rather put design work into new perks than old ones. But there's a whole perks section here. Anyway, these perks are shelved. Bottomless Grief and Celerity. Underdog, Shield Disorient, Air Assault. They
Yep,
are getting
Those are
shelved.
leaving.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
See
in
you
the-
later.
Bye.
Yeah, buy perks. And then in the near future, in Season 17, we'll have a set of PvP-focused weapon changes, including new weapons for players to build for flinch resistance. So you can make a
I'm
whole...
really excited about having new ways to build for flinch resistance. Because I think
Sniper
if someone,
build.
like if someone wants to snipe and they have built a bunch of things in their character's build to, have less flinch, I think that's fair because that means they're not
Yeah.
built for a bunch of other stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that's totally fair, and I'm very happy because flinch has been. It's really annoying. It's real bad when you're trying
Yeah.
to snipe. It's real bad. Even your teammate can hit you, and you're just like you can't hit anybody.
Yeah.
Flinch is
Is
crazy. at the
Season
moment.
17 the one where we're getting a new map or maps or
I believe so.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
So it might be like a PvP focused seasonal update situation.
The by decade PvP update.
Yeah. Yep.
Be like, all right, here we go. Looking forward to the next one in 5 years. What else they got here? Balance tuning for primary weapons. Looking at you, pulse rifles, lightweights in particular. Special. This is again season 17. Special weapon tuning. Snapshot feels mandatory on sniper rifles and PvP. Other balance changes, which I agree with. Another PvP special ammo economy change if needed. Adjusting how zoom outliers, both low and high, affect performance of weapons and all that. And then we're also adjusting several much requested exotics with their legendary perks. So
Stompies?
yeah.
If this is a like PvP kind of focused update shenanigans, I would
But-
love if they could bring like a Crucible sniper rifle that its origin perk is that it has snapshot.
Yeah.
Because like you don't really care about having snapshot in PvE, right? It's just a PvP thing.
Yeah.
And then at that point you can't have any fun with other perk combinations. It's like you want snapshot, quick draw, you want snapshot, whatever.
Yeah.
So that would be nice.
I didn't mention it earlier, but that was Chris Proctor dropping all those knowledge bombs, and that's why it was so verbose in terms of details and scalar this, scalar
Gives
that,
the
number
deets. I love
this,
it.
and
Numbers.
so fair dinkum, for all that, for
Yup.
all them details,
Fair
right?
dink of knowledge
Yeah.
from Chris.
I
Yeah.
know. Isn't he on Massive Breakdowns tomorrow?
Is he?
Oh, I don't know.
I think. I think Massive
Awesome.
Breakdowns has him tomorrow. So that episode's gonna be like 8 hours long.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
all the information. There's gonna be able
Yeah,
to
that's an
glean from that.
entire week of a podcast.
Just break it. Make sure to drink plenty of water. Break it up with naps.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Very cool. So
Yeah, that's like the big chunk of it. We do have some Year of the Tiger stuff, which I think is worth talking about because these items are only available through next Tuesday reset, February 8th. So if you're interested in the emote, the ghost shell, the sparrow, the ship, make sure you get any kind of Lunar New Year stuff before next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Something very interesting is the pre-launch and downtime and preload of Witch Queen. So Destiny's going offline at 7 p.m. Pacific on February 21st.
Okay.
And it won't be back until 9 a.m. February 22nd. So if you want to
lot of
do
time.
anything in Destiny, make sure you do it before 7 p.m. because that
Yeah.
is a long time. 14 hours of downtime.
Yeah, don't plan on doing any last minute stuff. Make sure you get it done the week before.
Yeah, just get it done now.
Yep.
And then preload is going to be becoming available for all platforms at 9 p.m. Pacific on February 21st.
Okay.
There's also just some things with the end of the season is approaching, so the Shattered Realms seasonal activity has been updated to daily rotations instead of weekly rotations, so you
Great
complete.
change.
It's
Mhm.
so good. So people can then just knock out their triumphs, challenges, seals, and all that stuff. Before, and then I think that's really it. They do have another list of weapons that are going away. Trials of Osiris, Igneous Hammer, and Soulless Scar are leaving on February 22nd. The Swarm, Shadow Price, Uzume, Hung Jury are leaving, and then Multimac, Time Worm Spire, Guiding Sight, and Steady Hand are also leaving. And we do
Yep.
know that there's going to be one more Iron Banner before Witch Queen. Highly recommend, if you care, to get a good PvP Multimac because that gun is like you just can't fight against it. It's impossible. Thing is nuts.
A few rolls stored in my vault. I haven't looked at them in a while.
Make sure to claim all of your engrams, or if you're doing what I'm doing, I am picking up my Trials engrams, but I'm not opening them until Witch Queen. That's what
Okay.
I'm doing.
Ooh.
I'm gonna stack as many as I can, and
I
Yeah.
have like
Maybe I get some
30
stuff.
engrams. Trials.
hold on to.
Yeah, I've got a bunch
So
in
you
there
have
too.
to pick them up off Saint first.
Yeah. Otherwise, they get auto pooped out.
So just pick them up and then
Okay.
save them for Witch Queen?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do. Might as well.
Good tips.
Look at me, Witch Queen prep. Witch Queen prep.
Elden Ring's
Same.
coming out 2 minutes after Witch Queen. I gotta do everything I can to get
Horizon Zero
something.
or Horizon Forbidden West, like 4 days before.
Yeah. Horizon Forbidden Elden Ring Dawn launch of everything. Witch Queen.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem. Yeah, it's like I go through two minds. I get really stressed because I'm like, how am I gonna handle this? I'm gonna die. And then I'm like, well, all of the best games that I've been looking forward to for so long are
Yeah.
coming out in 1 month, and that's amazing. So just relax, have a good time,
Yep.
try and be as healthy as possible while you sit in your chair for 15 hours a day.
Dan, are you playing all the games? Are you skipping some?
Oh man. Okay, so I have Horizon Forbidden West on pre-order. I got Elden Ring on a whim for pre-order, and I have Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Next month for
pre-ordered.
that. Yep.
Yeah. So busy time, daunting time,
Yeah.
but kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
Elden Ring for whatever reason. I'm not really a Soulsborne player, but it excites me in a way. I can't explain it.
It's fun to get around the hype of a FromSoft game when it's launching because there's a
Mhm.
lot of like magic in the air to see how a game feels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing bosses for the first time and all that.
Oh man, I can't wait. And Witch Queen is just looking like such a huge step forward for Destiny in general and all the new content. I love the like creepy swampy vibe of it as well. It's I'm so excited.
You know, the impression I get is that they're definitely doubling down on the grind, and they said Destiny's going to become more of an RPG, and this is a huge step towards that. The Enclave, weapon traits, like they're making good on that
Void
promise.
3.0.
Right? Yeah, oh yeah, Void 3.0. Exactly. I forgot about that. Void 3.0 is going to
whole new way to play Void.
Woof. Boy, it is going to be
getting new aspects and fragments each
huge
season.
change.
Void. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's good time. Yep. Pope Bear's in chat. Oh my
Pope Bear's
God.
here. Everyone hound him.
Wild pipe.
Hello.
Wow. Pope Bear.
I don't think we have time for questions.
Yeah. So
No, fair.
It's been we're what 2.5 hours into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're past the 2-hour mark, so unfortunately we gotta wrap things up here. But sorry if you guys submitted some awesome questions.
Yeah.
Briar wasn't
If
here
you did
today
ask
because
a
of.
question,
I just want to say real quick, Briar
Yes,
couldn't make
yes,
it today because some family emergency stuff. So wish him the best on that.
yeah, wishing him the best for sure.
But that's also why we're not doing Twitter questions, is because Briar.
Yeah, it's if you asked a question that you would like anyone to answer next week, feel free to keep asking it every week. Go for it.
Yep.
I will try and get on Twitter later tonight and just reply to some stuff that I think I can. Sorry if you asked a question specifically for Dan.
I'm sorry.
I'll answer him.
Blame it on the
Dan will
TWAB.
answer him.
Yeah, I'll hop in there. I'll get dirty. I'll start answering questions like nobody's business. It'll be great.
Awesome. Well, I think that is the episode. Dan, give us a readout on where people can find you and what your schedule is.
Oh, hey, my name's Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok where the I's are L's. You can find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity. That's on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, usually doing like a 1.5 help streams during that time. You can find the Discord, discord.gg/Danfinity, where there's all sorts of helpful folks and just all around good people. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. This was a real pleasure.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah,
this was a long time coming.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is a pleasure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to the relaunch of the PD podcast with you guys. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big same.
Yeah.
Good plans for it. Very excited.
And we do have an announcement about next week's show. Something very spicy. We're going to have some Destiny developers coming on the show.
Is that right?
Don't know what they're talking about. Who knows?
I think
You're
they're
going
to be
tune in
talking
to find out.
about small
worms,
babies, and their manufacturing process.
Ask them about the facehuggers for me.
Yes.
Can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
so,
ornaments change the appearance of the worms that you shoot.
True. So next week, February 10th, there will be some Bungie devs here to talk about something. Who knows?
Maybe they're talking about their favorite games that they played growing up, you know?
Yeah.
That's what they're going to come on the show. Talk about,
about how many billions they got from Sony.
Talking about how rich they are now.
They just show up with gold chains.
Yeah.
They all show up with gold chains.
Just wearing suits and just drinking cocktails.
Hey,
They got like
What's
the
up,
diamonds in the
DCP?
teeth, you know, like the grills, you know? Really practical.
Great.
They're
Yeah.
like, oh, it hasn't really made a difference.
I got this one directly from T-Pain's mouth. What's going on? You guys doing okay? You want to hear about the game? Sure.
So we're gonna do a bling check basically on with Bungie devs, see how that money is, you know. So yeah, that is the episode. Thank you so much for hanging out and chilling and listening and all that stuff. We appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Patreon members and shout out to our Twitch subs and shout out to everyone who has purchased some merch as well. We appreciate all you guys and see you next week for a spicy episode as well.
Yeah, another spicy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Or maybe not. Maybe it will be.
not. Yeah.
Maybe it'll be mild mayo.
Mayo. That's it. Mild mayo.
That's it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.